Good evening, SRN Speed Racing Network fans. My name is Jake Rowell. I'm here with my broadcast partner again tonight, Dean Brummett, bringing you the Clippy 150 at Martinsville Speedway for the SRN Xfinity Series, their 12th race of this 20 race long season. Dean, man, how's it going, bud?
Going pretty well, Jake. Managed to find my way back to the track again today, so pretty excited here for this race tonight. We saw a lot of action last night, and a lot of beating, a lot of banging, and tonight with these Xfinity guys, I had a chance to actually go out here and test a little bit in this car this evening, and I tell you what, it does not want to stop. It's going to take a lot of these drivers to be able to go through, keep all four wheels stuck to the track, and be able to get it around here for 150 laps tonight.
Oh, fun we had last night, no doubt about that. Obviously, last night in that Truck Series race, it was an exciting finish. Besides all the L's we had, but at the end of the night, we had a good show for that last run. Cole Martin, our winner, is going to be in this race tonight, so we see if he can go back to back. Obviously, so looking forward to this thing. I think we got a little bit smaller of a field tonight here in these Xfinity or in our Xfinity series, so that might promote a little bit less yellow flags, a little more green flag racing for our fans at home. So it's going to be a good show, I think, tonight for the Clippy 150.
Yeah, not entirely certain here, Jake. I mean, we've had a pretty good showing of cars here all season, and some of these guys may have just gone in here and with our point structure, they do get a couple attempts at a drop a week, and some of these guys may have just kind of looked at it and said, you know what, a couple weeks ago at Bristol, I had a bad race. Maybe I'm a little frustrated. Let's not get frustrated again. And the 20 odd cars that we do have in contention this evening, you never know who can win. Who could wind up winning this thing. It could be from the back, it could be from the front. But I'll tell you what, we're going to find out here in about 150 laps of green flag racing tonight.
Find out we will. I'm excited for it. Here we are, obviously the breakdown of our league. If you're brand new to the broadcast, first time watching, or maybe you just, you love seeing this screen here. We got 20 weeks in our season. Again, we're on the 12th race of the season here at Martinsville. Every single driver has a fixed setup, so that means, at the end of the day, man, the difference between, all these guys on the track is just going to be, the guy sitting behind the wheel, and our guys get one fast repair. So if they're involved in an accident, any sort of damage from anything that could happen, you can go down pit lane, you get a free reset button, so to speak, and you got a clean car. And again, we pay $10 every single week here for our Xfinity Series and Speed Racing Network. So that leads to some big weekly as well as season payouts. If you win the driver championship, you get $500. If you're on the winning team, you get $200. So there's big money all across the board. Dean, I know you've won every single kind of payout weekly as well as the season. So, you can speak to this as well.
Yeah, Jake, I was fortunate enough last season with Mid-South Madness, which is what our league went under the name of last year. I finished second in the championship point standings, wound up getting to go home at the end of the season, bring home a good little bit of money. We won the team championship, and, it was awesome, man, just the culmination of an entire racing season, and not something short-term. I've seen a lot of leagues on iRacing that may go through, run a couple weeks, maybe a month or two, but, man, 20 weeks on this thing, I mean, that's 5 months. You're putting about half a year into this race, this racing season. So definitely a nice reward for these drivers to come out here, drive clean, and potentially park it for some money, Jake.
Oh, absolutely. It's a long grinding haul here in SRN's 20 weeks. But again, with those weekly payouts, $10 gets you into the show, and you finish first. You get $50 as the winner, as well as a free entry into Sunday night's Cup race. So that you could even win more money than that. So it's an awesome thing for a Truck and Xfinity Series winner is, you get a free entry into the Series Up. So that's something to watch out. As well as second place, you get $30. Third place, $20. Fourth place, you walk home with $15. And fifth and sixth, even if you finish back there, you do get your money back. So you kind of get to scratch this one out, even up, and put it towards next week. So again, it's just a really nice thing each and every week to be able to go out and grab some cash.
Yeah, Jake, and the weekly payouts are nice, but these season-long payouts, they look a little better for that consistency. Our season payouts are sponsored by Griffith CPA firm. First place for the season is going to take home $500. That's going to be your championship payout. Second place, Jake, second is the worst position you can finish on track, but man, that $300 kind of dampens that blow just a little bit. Third place takes home $200, fourth place $150, and fifth place takes home $100. And then, like you'd mentioned, Jake, that team championship, you split $200 multiple ways. So, like we said, the potential here for a lot of cash between the season and the single race. But man, like I said, that $500 goes a long way. I know that $300 I won last season for finishing second. It was definitely a nice little treat, to say the least.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you're fortunate enough to be on a winning team, whether it's single driver or on the collectively as a team, great prize to have. As well as another prize we got is our clean driver award is going to get to take home a free butt kicker to the cleanest driver during the entire season. So this thing runs from start to finish. If you're the cleanest driver with the fewest amount of incident points per lap, you get to go home with a free butt kicker. And if you aren't one of those 3 drivers, one from each series that get to get one for free, you can go ahead and go order one on Butt Kicker's website. Make sure you use our discount code SRNVS20 to save 20% off your order. And what these things, what this item is, you add it to your sim rig, or even if you're just using a normal office chair or anything like that. The butt kicker will actually kind of emulate every single feeling that you would have if you're sitting in the real thing. If you're sitting in the seat of a stock car or an Indy car or an IMSA vehicle or anything like that, you feel every single bump of the track. You get onto the curb, you kind of feel that from the seat, so to speak. So it's a great product to add, to your sim racing.
Yeah, Jake, definitely can help out a ton. And then one other thing that can help you out in terms of the whole iRacing experience is coaching sessions with Kane Cook. He's come on board here with Speed Racing Network as our resident lead driver. He races in in the iRacing Coke series, which is the upper echelon of all sim racing. I mean, these are guys who, they're racing in the likes of, if I'm not mistaken, Jake, wasn't Dale Earnhardt Jr. the very first champion of that series?
I believe he was. I think you're right. So, a guy on Sundays is out there running with them too. Obviously, that was a few years back, but, there's tons of talent out there.
Oh, yeah, Jake. And with Kane, he's definitely got the talent. Like I said, he's a professional iRacer. He's got an iRating of 74.14. I mean, that's pretty high up there. And iRating goes on a basis of 1 to, pretty much infinite there. And that's very high. And he does that by being a hard charger, meaning that he, more than any other driver in iRacing, has started towards the back of a field, passed people cleanly, gained positions, and just slowly worked his way through the field. And like I said, if you're struggling with any type of track, especially something here like Martinsville Speedway, some time with Kane Cook can definitely help you find those extra tenths and that extra traction you're looking for.
No doubt. And, I know you've used it personally as well as other guys in the league. So great thing there to check out. But here you are, our individual driver standings leader right now. The points leader is Zachary Taylor in that 14 car for Tank Racing. You see he's bolded in the green background for the standings. That means he's locked into the playoffs. So he's got nothing to worry about this week at Martinsville as well as next at Richmond. So that's something to, keep an eye out. Obviously, we got some guys that are trying to get themselves locked in, as well as, you see there down at the bottom, the 14th place driver, Nicholas Gowen, with the green at the edges of the spreadsheet there. That means after last week's race at Bristol, he was able to get himself inside the cut, get himself in the playoffs. Unfortunately, though, Dean, I've been told Nicholas Gowen is not going to be here tonight. So, this is going to shake up after tonight even. So something to watch, obviously, with only one more race to go after this week.
Yeah, Jake, definitely a tough one there down at the bottom. You fight your way into the top there, and now you're going to have to fight one more week in not being here this week. But that's why we have those drop weeks, Jake. And when you take a look at those drop weeks, you look right here, this outside the cut. You've got guys who are mathematically still have the possibility to be able to go through and make it into that playoff cut. Some of the lower. Some of the guys lower on the list there, Jamie Plurd, Josh Siegfried, they're going to have an uphill climb the next couple weeks. But right there on the border, you got Brad Williams, Emerson Ardon, who has shown some speed in tonight's practice, Stan Hausman, Greg Olenek, and like I said, Jake, it's from there, from Greg Olenek back, it's going to be a tough uphill fight to try to get in these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, our calculations show that these guys, from 27th up obviously to Brad Williams, they've got a shot to get into the playoffs with 2 weeks ago. But again, man, like you just said, I think that line is really where Greg Olenek sits with 21 points outside of the playoffs right now with Martinsville and Richmond next. That could even be too steep to climb. With two short tracks back to back, things can go wrong very, very quickly. You can get caught up in other guys' wrecks and accidents. And your night could end very, very poorly. I just think that is a ton of points to have to make up in the final two races here. But at the end of the day, man, you never know. Obviously, things can happen. It is racing, so we'll see. But again, you hate to see it because some of these guys really are, they're definitely better than where they show in the standings. But for whatever reason, it's just been that bad luck charm this season. And again, these are the guys we were trying to talk about a little bit earlier that have a shot to get themselves clinched to make the playoffs. So obviously you see Ryan Ducombe, he's got to finish 26th or better, as well as his teammate from Roel Smith Racing, Jovi Sagiped. And then you got Gregory Joyner out of Bronco Motorsports. All he has to do is finish 24th or better to get himself locked into the playoffs. And, he's got his teammate there, Rhett Tucker, again from Bronco Motorsports, who has to finish 6th or better to get himself in. And then Daniel Bowler, the 6 car for R&D Motorsports, he's got to win this thing to get locked in. So some storylines to keep our eyes out tonight, Dean. And, I think these guys are going to be, really relieved if they do get themselves locked in after Martinsville.
Yeah, Jake, I'll tell you right now, it's looking like we got about 26 guys who are out on the track. Now, we still have just a little bit of time for somebody else to register. But as of right now, and having 26 cars on track, Ryan Ducombe and Jovi Sagiped, at this point, if they fire these engines and roll off pit road, they will go ahead and lock a spot in automatically just by starting the race. And actually, Jake, look at that. Just as I say it, we just had a 27th driver register for this race. So it's not an automatic for these guys now.
No, not at all. I mean, you never know. Anything could happen. They could be the first yellow. Technology could kick them out. But here you are. These are our team championship standings brought to you by Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Obviously, up front, you got Bronco Motorsports leading this thing. They've got 2 wins so far, but they're sitting at 1,290 points. So they've got a 103-point cushion over second place, which is going to be Tank Racing, who has 2 wins right now. And, we saw the individual leading driver of the points is Zachary Taylor, who is actually not in the session right now. So that could hurt them for the team standings. Not having a 5th guy in here, it could, make things go really, really south if, those 4 drivers in here right now have anything happen. Obviously, 3rd place, you got Roel Smith Racing with 2 wins as well. They're sitting at 1150, so they're about 204 or 140 points out of this thing. And then you got Rev Racing back there in 4th, a little bit more of a drop down to them with only 1 win, but then they're sitting 250 points behind Bronco Motorsports. And you got Team SRN and R&D Motorsports kind of bringing up the rear of the team standings right now. Obviously, as Team SRN has no wins, sitting at about 950 points, and then R&D has a win, obviously, with Daniel Bowler, but they're sitting at 842 points. That's 448 points behind Bronco Motorsports. Man, I just that is a steep hill to get up, Dean.
Yeah, Jake, it's definitely a steep one to get up, but it's always a possibility. It's a season-long championship. It's not we're not going to reset these points here next week when we start our playoffs. But I tell you what, you got a lot of great drivers in here, and between all these teams. And Jake, I tell you what, why don't we get into these drivers here? Let's start with Bronco Motorsports, our team championship leader, once again presented by Tropical Smoothie Cafe. We're going to go to Bronco Motorsports. Like I said, these guys are up top leading this team championship. Guys are doing pretty great out here. You got Rhett Tucker with 1 win, Nathaniel Mon, Gregory Joyner, Nick Goen, who you had mentioned, Jake, is not going to be able to make it this evening, and Brad Williams. So, like I said, that could be the potential for some of these guys to kind of sprout back up and possibly take some of these points away from them in that lead.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. You got guys missing. Things can happen, and it makes, a comfortable lead in the team standings go away like that. If one of your 4 that are here have trouble, so you got to watch out for those Bronco Motorsports cars only having 4 of their 5 drivers.
Yeah, Jake, and the guys that are going to be looking to track them down are going to be the drivers in tank racing. Still one of my favorite opening segments of any of these teams. I'm guilty of loving it there. But you have Derek De Silva there in the 5, our championship points leader, Zach Taylor in the 14 with 2 wins, Devin Zimmerman, the team captain in 33, Michael Pickey in the 46, and Emerson Ardon there in the 57. So these guys are definitely looking to capitalize here and have a big night tonight, Jake.
Oh, no doubt. That's they're trying to rebound, get Emerson Ardon, who moved out of the playoff picture after last week at Bristol, trying to get himself back into this thing. So, tank racing as well, trying to get their driver into the playoffs, trying to make up some ground on Bronco Motorsports and get up to the front in the team standings aspect. So it'll be a good showing from them again. And they don't have a 5th driver in this thing with Zach Taylor not being here tonight. So that can lead to again the same thing like I just said, is something goes wrong for one guy and then a comfortable lead to the team behind you or the gap in front of you, it shrinks or it expands depending on which way you look at it.
Yeah, Jake, and then you got the team you and I associate with being RSR, your namesake team here. I'm just a part of the circus to go along with it, but man, you got some great drivers in here in Jovi Sagiped, Ryan Ducom. We just mentioned them trying to lock in for the playoffs with a 26 or better finish. You got Dustin Scruggs, who just joined in the 11, Troy Teichmeyer in the 32, and Josh Marcy in the 35. Jake, these guys have been hot all season. They've been very, very consistent. They may not have a ton of wins to show for it, but they are knocking at the door every single week at that checkered flag.
Yeah, knocking at the door, like you said there. Obviously, like you said, this is a team me and a couple of my friends started, and here we are. We start out with a Cup Series team. Now we have an Xfinity Series team halfway, or 8 races into the thing. So looking for big things here. I think they can go out and get this thing tonight. Obviously, probably going to sound a little favoritism, but hey, when your name's on it, I guess why not? But yeah, any of these 5 can go do it. But here we go into the next one. It's going to be Rev Racing. Kind of unusual spot to see them down there in 4th place for the team standings last season, man. Dean, this was a team that was trying to catch us on Striker Motorsports. Just a ton of consistency. They've got 2 of the same drivers from last year with Aaron Gerwitz in the 09 and Marshall Stanley, who got the win at the Daytona Road Course in the 25 car. So these guys know how to get it done as well. They bring in some talent with Joshua Segfried as well as Greg Olenek and Brad Davis. So these guys can get it done themselves. And we're just barely past halfway in the season. So these guys can make a charge and get back up there, I think.
Yeah, Jake, absolutely. They definitely can. You've seen this team so much this year. One of the big things that stands out in my mind is between Aaron Gerwitz and Greg Olenek. These guys have just had some of the worst luck I've ever seen out of this whole season. Every time it seems like that I turn around, they're winding up in some type of a accident, something like that they just couldn't control. And, Marshall Stanley winds up here with this win and my old namesake, the 25 car. And, man, I think right now more than anything, it is just, it's just going to be a fight, a battle just to try and go through and get those consistent results and keep that good mental state to say, hey, we're going to push forward. And speaking of pushing forward, you got the home team here in Team SRN with number 12 of Wayne Rayburn, the number 13 of Bo Tiffany, 21 of Danny Dow, 23 of Daniel Keith Jr., and 39 of Stan Hausman. Jake, these guys definitely looking to turn around a little rougher of a season if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, no doubt. This team had high hopes for them coming into the season. Obviously, Team SRN always puts together a really, really good team. And, whatever it's been, whether it's been just mistakes on their own part or just bad luck in races, getting caught up in accidents, it's just not gone their way for any of these 5 drivers this season, unfortunately. So, but, we still got 8 or 9 more races to go. So anything's possible. So we got to watch out for them, obviously.
Yeah, Jake, and another team you got to watch out for here, just because up until a few weeks ago I couldn't read to save my life, which was R&D Motorsports. You got Daniel Badler there in the 6, looking to try and capitalize tonight. If he can pull off a win, he's in the championship playoffs. No questions asked. Dylan Patterson in the 8, Chris Heller in the 10, Michael Lamenti in the 55, and Cody Havens in the 99. That 8 car of Dylan Patterson, another one who I've seen very consistent this year, running up front a lot.
Yeah, they definitely have. Dylan Patterson, He's very, very quick. Every single place we go to, it seems. So, put him together with Daniel Ballard. Obviously, we know his story from, being in this league for a couple of years now. So this is, they've got speed. Maybe kind of just not worry about the team aspect, and those two guys just kind of get themselves going, for that individual drivers championships and make a run deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, Jake, and some guys trying to come out here and spoil it tonight. You have just two independent drivers. You have James Holzer from up in our Cup Series coming down to race with these guys, and Bobby Anderson coming up from our Truck Series to race. So these guys are going to be trying to spoil it for the regulars. But Jake, qualifying just concluded here at the Paperclip in Virginia. And, actually, Jake, I'm sorry, I forgot one. Cole Martin, our winner last night. How could I forget the flag-to-flag wire-to-wire leader last night, winning the first ever wire-to-wire race for Speed Racing Network.
Yeah, that was an insane thing to watch last night. But here we go, man. This is our top 12 from qualifying. First place, Jovi Sagiped from Roe L. Smith Racing. Gregory Joyner out of Bronco Motorsports starting P2. You got Marshall Stanley out of Rev Racing starting third. James Holzer, again, our independent driver from the Cup Series, starting fourth. And Joshua Segfried, another Rev Racing guy, starting in fifth place.
Yeah, Jake, then you got Ryan Ducombe there in sixth, Michael Pickey in seventh, very good qualifying effort for him, Daniel Dow up in eighth, Rhett Tucker in ninth, Greg Olenek there in 10th, Devin Zimmerman in 11th, and Josh Marcy rounding out our top 12. Much of the same stuff you see every week, Jake. A few Roe L. Smith racing cars, a few of the Rev racing cars, a few of the Bronco cars, and a few of the tank cars. I mean, these guys, that even though they may be in different spots in the team standings, they spread out very well over the course of a race.
Yeah, they definitely do, and that's the thing. These were the three top teams for our team standings of Bronco Motorsports, Roe L. Smith Racing, as well as Tank Racing. So it's no surprise to see 3 or 4 of their drivers sprinkled in the top 12 each and every week. They're bringing the speed every week. And it translates to the whole team when you practice. As much as I know all 3 of these teams do. So it's obviously why we consistently here in week 12 now see all these guys up front. But up front, man, this restart's going to be this first one. Obviously, Jovi Sagiped when we come around once more. Dean, I'm going to leave it up to you first tonight. Who is your pick for the Clippy 150?
Well, man, I tell you what, I just looked over the board here. Jovi Sagiped and Ryan Ducombe are going to be locked in. There are only 26 cars on track. I tell you what, I made the mistake of not doing it last night. Give me that pole sitter tonight. I'm taking Jovi to win this race.
Fair enough. Not a bad pick at all. I think I'm going to go with the guy lined up right behind him in third place, that 25 car. Marshall Stanley's going to surprise some guys, get himself a win on an oval, so we'll see here.
And green flag is out. Jovi Sagiped gets through the gears here, Jake. Very good start as we head down for turn number 1.
Into turn 1 we go. Jovi Sagiped going to get a good launch off that restart, get through 1 and 2 cleanly. He's going to pull away from second place, Gregory Joyner. No accident so far, Dean. I'm liking what we're seeing as we head into 3.
Yeah, Jake, we're going to get around here. Looks like we're going to get lap number 1 completed from the Paperclip. Down this short front straightaway, Jovi Sagiped gets back onto the binders into turn number 1. Your pick back there in third, Marshall Stanley trying to work underneath that 42 car, it looks to be. He's moving his way back. He didn't get quite the best start just to kick this thing off with. But, Jake, he's definitely going to try to work his way to the front. And, man, I tell you, I do like your pick that you made just for the fact of we know Marshall Stanley is an excellent road racer. And this is
we got a yellow on the track, though.
We got a big parking lot back here, Jake.
I believe that was Stan Hausman turning around in the 39. It was the 39. And then Bobby Anderson in the 18 car. These leaders got to be careful when they come catching up to these guys.
Poor Bobby Anderson, Jake. He got to see plenty of caution flags last night in our Truck Series race, and he's going to come in here and unfortunately be a part of one here early on in this Clippy 150. Let's take a look what happened with our Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay. You can definitely check these guys out on Shopify for die casts, all sorts of racing and sports memorabilia. Some great stuff on there. Yeah, it just looks like Bobby comes off turn 4, Jake, and I couldn't tell if he broke loose or if he had some help from behind. That camera angle really didn't show it that well.
Yeah, I wonder if we can get on board with the 33 car here of Devin Zimmerman and kind of see what happened from behind. But obviously, you see Bobby Anderson kind of just lose it all by himself.
Yeah, and I can't tell.
Stan got some help.
Yeah, I can't tell.
The 23, Daniel Ballard got over there.
Yeah, Bowder got in that one, man. That's rough. I mean, he
Here's
had
Bobby again from the cockpit. Oh, here we go. Devin Zimmerman riding behind it. It's going to happen right in front of you. They both get loose. Devin Zimmerman, nowhere to go. You got two cars sideways in front of you, blocking the whole track.
Yeah, Jake, it's almost like they just followed each other through there. Just both of them broke traction at the exact same time.
And here we go. We're going to get the drone footage over the 6 car of Daniel Bowler. As you see the chaos in the back of the pack, what it can do, as you see the wreck happen in front of him, but then it's, where do you go? It's it's about as wide as a highway, 3 or 4 lane highway. So it's tight quarters here for these drivers.
Yeah, Jake, and sometimes with it, just getting on the brakes, some people may look at it on broadcast and say, well, why don't you just hit the brakes? It's not always that easy, especially to get these cars woed up, and you got cars in front of you, cars behind you, but unfortunately for Daniel Bowder, I don't know if he had to use one of his fast repairs there, Jake. He might have gotten lucky enough just to be able to save it for a little later in the race, but right now you got Jovi Sagiped up front. He's going to get ready in just a moment to lead us back to green, but I think we're going to be coming around to 1 to go here, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Those pace lights aren't off yet, so we'll be getting the 1 to go this time by, and Jovi Sagiped's going to be leading it to the green again.
Yeah, Jake, just a quick rundown here. You got Jovi Sagiped in first, Greg Joyner to his outside in second, Marshall Stanley in third, James Holzer there in fourth, Joshua Siegfried in fifth, Ryan Ducom in sixth, Michael Pickey in seventh, Daniel Dow in eighth, Greg Olenek has moved from 10th to 9th, and Josh Marcy has moved from 12th to 10th. So for the most part, Jake, most of the top 10 is almost exactly where they started, minus 1 or 2 positions.
Absolutely, and it's I think we'll get a little bit more green flag run than we saw last night. We went 3 laps there, about to get to our 4th lap. So, but here we go. Jovi Sagiped hard on the gas again, going to get a good run. That's going to get Marshall Stanley to the inside of Gregory Joyner as they head down into 1.
Yeah, Jake, and just all the power that these guys have to get down as they come up off turn 2, and there goes your pick, Marshall Stanley, trying to move his nose up into second. Got to be careful with Greg Joyner to your outside, Jake. Sometimes these guys will rotate a little better, and man, I tell you what, Marshall Stanley looks like he's going to be getting a big run down this front straightaway. I think he's going to be on Jovi's back bumper here before too long.
Yeah, and that's the thing as a leader, you don't really want to push it too much because you don't want to be the first guy to overshoot the corner and wash up the track and open the door. But Marshall Stanley, man, is, reeled down Jovi Sagiped, something we didn't see on that first 3-lap run from second place Gregory Joyner. So we'll see if, Marshall's able to make a move to the inside of Jovi. We see Rhett Tucker back here in 9th place. He's got some damage on the rear end already. So you've got 3-wide action there through 1 and 2. They make it work. They sort it out, and they're, down in 3.
And Jake, this is why these guys show exactly why they're here in this Xfinity series, how they've managed to earn their way up through the ranks of iRacing. These guys are a little bit more experienced than what our Truck Series drivers had last night in terms of some of these tracks and car combinations. So, you just look at how many green flag laps we've had already, and these guys are starting to get single file. It's going to get fast, and it's going to get a little slippery before too awful long.
Absolutely, and that's the thing we didn't get to see last night, right? We didn't see a very, very long green flag run at all. I think the longest might have been 4 or 5 laps. So it'll be interesting to see how, the tire wear, and how these drivers adapt to that. Makes you wonder how many guys actually practice a longer green flag run.
Yeah, and another big thing you have to look out here for, Jake, is, we get ready to start working lap number 13 here, is some of these guys, when they get single file like this, you may be a faster car, but you have to be patient to try to get around the person in front of you. And a lot of the times you may just see a bump out of the way. And if you're the guy delivering the bump, you have to look at the scenario, the situation, and say, hey, if I bump him now, it may come back to me here in the end. As Jovi washes up the track a little bit, it's going to let Marshall get right back up to his bumper. But, when you're someone like Marshall Stanley trying to run down Jovi, do you use the bumper, Jake? Do you try to pass him clean? And if you're Jovi and you get that bumper, can you really hold it against him if the guy behind you is a little faster?
Yeah, I think it's a little too early. We're lap 15 right now to be using the bumper. If you use it on someone now, you can't be complaining, hooting and hollering later on in the race if they use it back to you. That's just kind of a double standard. So if you want to use it now, go ahead. Just understand the repercussions of what that can lead to later on in the race.
Yeah, Jake, looks like we got a battle here for 15th. Looks like Scruggs going underneath Patterson. And, man, I tell you what, he's just stuck up there on the or actually, sorry, the other way around, Patterson going under Scruggs. But, man, I tell you what, they wound up going through. And you get stuck up on this high line, Jake, and it's like a freight train. There is no traction up there, and it's almost impossible to get these cars back down to the bottom if you've got a big line behind you.
Yeah, it really is. And, it's something you see a lot. It's almost like a freight train. If you get stuck on the outside, you could lose 4 or 5 positions, in a couple of laps, and it's just really tough to make that ground up on the cars, that have just gotten around you with a little contact there.
Yeah,
the 42 and the 25.
Well, I'll tell you what, 25 actually got in the back bumper of Jovi just a little bit there. He rotated the center of the corner a lot better. Jovi was just getting ready to get back in the gas when Marshall did and gave him a little shot, and it kind of helped propel Jovi off the corner. Marshall definitely cut him a little bit of a break there. Instead of just continue to drive through it, he backed out of it a little bit and got him a little touch in his own rear bumper from the 42 behind him. And Jake, I tell you, it looks like the 42 was blinking just a little bit there. I don't know if he's potentially having internet issues or what this evening.
Yeah, he's blinking pretty bad. I mean, thankfully, though, he's got no one really right in front of him or behind him. Thankfully, he's not near anyone, so it doesn't really matter, I don't think. That's what we just heard over the race chat from the admin, so.
I'll tell you what, well, that's good, Jake. I'm just glad he can go through and get everything situated. There's no worse feeling than running towards the front of a race, and you begin to have, we'll call it engine issues in terms of your computer. But, man, I tell you, Marshall just keeps reeling Jovi back in. I think right now Marshall is definitely the fastest car, but I think he's just biding his time, just kind of letting this race go on. But, Jake, I don't think he can really bide his time for too much longer where he's at, because lap traffic is going to be a factor here within the next 3 or 4 laps.
Yeah, our leader's only 5 seconds behind, the tail end of the lead lap. So, if Marshall wants to get it done, I think you got to do it before you get to that lap traffic, because if Jovi gets through the first car cleanly and then, you kind of get boxed in or get a pick set from those lap cars, that 0.2 of a second difference to the leader could, turn into about a second or longer or more. So, maybe the intensity kind of turns up here from Marshall Stanley.
Yeah, and Jake, I tell you, the 2 big things I'm noticing differently, Marshall Stanley's running a lot lower on the track than what Jovi is. It's like he gets a much better run into the corner, but Jovi just gets a better run out of the corner. And, you kind of have to wonder here, is Jovi saving a little bit of his equipment, or is he going through, giving it all he has right now? And, at the same time with Marshall, is he saving anything, or is he going to potentially burn these front tires up being this hard on the binders?
Yeah, and you saw right there the shot from the front bumper of the 25 of Marshall Stanley. Jovi's, kind of got the door open, but there's not enough room to where Marshall can squeak in there and get his nose in there without having to make contact with the 3 car of Jovi's soggy ped. So, and I think that's kind of almost, a little strategy play by the 3. It kind of shows you got, an opportunity, but at the end of the day, you're really going to have to get into the guy, and, you don't really want to do that, because you get into the 3 car, he spins out, you could get involved in that, and in the accident as well, and really damage your race car as well.
Yeah, Jake, I tell you what, these first 3 guys they're right under a blanket here. I mean, you definitely can see the fast 3, but I tell you what, Gregory Joyner.
Oh, Jovi's
going to go around. Oh, yellow trouble in the middle of 3 and 4.
Yeah, yellow flag is out. I don't think he's going to get hit.
He needs to back it up.
No. Not too sure what he's doing.
I think he's just holding the brake as courtesy, Jake, just to kind of let these guys by. I mean, it's a good move there. That kind of goes into our question of asking, these different lines and how everybody was running. We'll definitely take a look with the Sandwich Man Racing and Sports Memorabilia Rec replay. If I had to take my guess, I want to listen to this onboard. I'd say Jovi probably got down in there and he will hopped pretty bad would be my uneducated guess at this point.
Yeah, we will see as we, they're pitting too as well, so something we didn't get to see last night. We see them coming down the backstretch, Jovi onto the brakes. Just lost it, unfortunately.
We take a look at that onboard.
Like you said there, Dean. Yeah.
I think we got to take a look at the onboard and listen to the car, listen to the engine as it gets down into the corner, and watch this tachometer and see if it bounces real heavy. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the rear end just came out from under him.
Wow,
he was running a little higher. I think he just went in a little deeper than normal. Obviously overshot it and looped it. Thankfully, no one hit him though. Something we saw quite a bit last night. Cars running into the back of cars parked on the racetrack. So, and we see here on board with Marshall Stanley, what it looked like from his point of view.
Yeah, and great job by Marshall Stanley.
Barely missed it.
Yeah, great job by him to get underneath it. Just as good of a job of Jovi there to know the situation. You know you're spinning. You don't want to take anybody else out with you. And, sometimes you can kind of let that car spin a little bit, back up the track a little more to give that bottom lane for everybody passing you. But, yeah, Jake, I tell you, I think Jovi just did a great job there in terms of getting out of the way. But, my pick goes to the back of the field once again, and your pick's up at the front, Jake.
Rev Racing's going to be first through four, right, or first, second, third, and fourth right here. So a little strategy play. Not sure if they only took 2 tires or what. Oh, man, I don't know if I would have done that. That no one pit.
No one pitted.
Their lap times, at that point were over a half a second off of qualifying pace. So this thing goes green, man. That is not going to bode well at all. So we'll see.
No, and Jake, my big thing is you've seen so far tonight, I mean, it's definitely got a green flag feel about it. These guys have definitely been able to keep these cars on the straight and narrow, keep them going in the way that they need to. And I'd definitely be antsy to see if there's going to be any rear wheel spin here. But Marshall Stanley's going to take off. Greg Olenik's going to get a big run there to the inside on that second car. And they're going to race their way for turn one. Marshall with a very sizable lead as we get ready to head down the back straightaway. And around goes Daniel Dow over in turn two.
Yeah, Danny Dow went around. Sorry, I was listening to the radio. Other guys getting frustrated, but I think that's just, I don't know why guys are staying out. It's Martinsville. New tires are king.
Yeah, Jake, and we'll take a look here with the Sandwich Man Racing and Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay, but I've got a pretty good feeling Danny Dow got a little bit of help from behind here on this accordion effect to lap number 2 under green after that restart.
And we see as they head down into 1, Danny Down on the high side. The 11 of Dustin Scruggs unfortunately got into him there. And he did come over the race chat and say he apologized, so you always love hearing that from drivers.
Yeah, definitely a good thing to go out and go ahead and get your corals out of the way here. And this is just how fast it happens. I mean, Dustin Scruggs is going to get down in here. Yeah,
you can see it. It was just going straight up, and unfortunately Danny Dow, innocent bystander there, getting taken out by the 11 car of Dustin Scruggs. Obviously not intentional whatsoever, but that's just what happens on these restarts, man. It happens quick.
Yeah, look at that closing rate, Jake. I mean, you just look how much ground he makes up. And, I mean, if, he's kind of running his line there. And, 2 cars can't occupy the same spot at the same time. And, unfortunately, Danny just kind of pays the price for it. But the good news is you got your fast repairs. Still got a lot of racing to go. Danny was running pretty well, so it'll be interesting to see how he can rebound from that spin.
And you see our 7th place driver right now is the 09 Aaron Gerwitz, who started 4th on that restart from staying out. So he's already fallen back to 7th, only 1 corner through that, first lap before the yellow came out. So interesting strategy call by Rev Racing to stay out, because honestly, if this thing keeps going green, and if I just see these guys with newer tires, Dean, just being able to pass these guys with no problem, being over half a second quicker.
Yeah, I mean, half a second's huge here at Martinsville. I mean, to kind of put that in perspective, Jake, that was about the distance that Marshall Stanley had on Greg Olenek by the time they made it off of turn number 2. So half a second is pretty huge. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about the strategy. Maybe they feel like tires will equalize a lot quicker, and they won't so much be out of the loop, especially with 4 of them starting side by side with one another. But I don't know, Jake. I just don't know if I like that call very much, man.
Oh, now you got a hungry cat in the 42 car of James Holzer starting P3 right behind the leader. So, that's another thing. Now you had 4 up front. You had the front 2 rows, but now you got, a guy not on your team in 3rd trying to get to the lead. Obviously, he knows he's just as fast as Marshall on, even tires, and now he's got fresh tires. So he's going to want to be getting around these guys as soon as possible to, really get out and have a good lead. So this restart might be interesting, Dean.
Yeah, Jake, I definitely think it's going to be. One thing that we've seen between last night and the few restarts we've had tonight, the leader definitely with their lane choice, has picked the inside every single time. They've gotten a very good run as soon as they wind up getting that pace car off. So we'll take a look and see if it's much the same here as we see James Holzer starting to blink just a little bit more here behind. Hopefully his internet issues will relieve and he can continue. But Marshall Stanley back on the gas, green flag back out here at Martinsville Speedway.
James Holzer going to be the inside of Greg Olenek as they go into one. So already up to, he gets it to the 25 a little bit.
What a save by Marshall Stanley. And Jake, that's just that distance, that difference of new tires and old tires. He's going to dive it in here. Marshall's going to move down. He's going to get a little bit of a bumper, and Holzer's going to go around. Yep, Holzer's going to get it, man. There's just no holding that off. And, I don't think James Holzer meant anything by it. He definitely, caution's out, Jake. I don't know if Holzer got the lead before the caution or not.
With 57, Emerson Ardon, playoff implications.
But Jake, to my point, what I was saying there is that's just that difference, just that tiniest little bit on new tires, and
we just heard right there too, Marshall Stanley apologizing to Holzer for being so slow in the middle of the corner. So Marshall understands, he's slower, and he's saying it was fun. So they made contact, and Marshall was all about it, not having any sort of problem or anything.
Yeah, let's take a look here, see what happened with Emerson. He's going to get up off the corner here and just loops it, Jake. I mean,
kind of like that first yellow we saw.
Yeah, I mean, right there, that track is just so flat. You're kind of going from a concrete, you have this big concrete patch right here, and then you come up off the concrete and it changes into asphalt. And right there, I mean, there's so little traction, Jake. I mean, you're going on a flat surface trying to push these cars off. They're used to banking. They like banking, and there's just none there. And trying to get about 750 to 800 horsepower down in these cars to the rear wheels, it's just hard. And like I said, Emerson just loops it. Barely touched the wall there. I think he'll get away without having to use a fast repair.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he won't need to at all. So good for him. Obviously, didn't get much damage. Doesn't have to use fast repair. Only on lap 40. Leader of the race, James Holzer, said he's going to take the high side on this restart. So that's going to be interesting to see, Dean.
Yeah, I think that'll definitely be interesting. One thing with the high lane is you can have a little more room to roll off the corner, but the biggest thing that I feel like it hinders you, the turning angle of that high line is just a little more difficult. So I don't know. I mean, with his traction, the way that he has it, these newer tires, I think he's definitely going to be able to beat Marshall Stanley out of turn number 2. But at the same time, you've seen so many guys get up there on that second lane, just no traction to be had, and around they go.
And, I think I know why he did it, Dean. Our third-place driver, Gregory Joyner, went down pit lane with Holzer, so they're on even tires. But him going to the outside is going to trap the 25 in front of Gregory Joyner on this restart. So he's going to put a car in between them that's on older tires, kind of, use Marshall as a pick and, in front of Greg as they head into one on this first, entry into one on this restart.
Big thing you got to watch out for, though, Jake, if you're James Holzer, is, if Marshall Stanley gets a good restart and he's to your inside by the time you get to turn 1, if the same thing happens as last time and Gregory Joyner rolls that corner a little better and maybe accidentally gets into the back of Marshall, is it going to send him up right into you and you potentially go from first to worst at that point? So it'll definitely be a little interesting here, but with the leader having the lane choice and the restart capabilities, I think James Holzer is going to just kind of check out here. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, I think so too. I think, even though Marshall 2 is inside, being the leader is huge. I think he's going to pull away, no doubt, and it's not even going to be close going into turn 1. So I think James is going to be able to pull away quite a bit here until the 85 or another car that's on brand new newer tires is able to get around these guys of the 25 and the 31 that stayed out that are on those older tires. So we'll see though, Dean. We'll see. And Mike Lepicki up in, fifth place. Fifth place for Tank Racing, that 46 car. He's up to fifth place. He started back in 7th, so he's, moved up only a couple spots, but, he's got those fresh tires as well. And we see it. Holzer's going to get a big jump on the restart. Got into the wall a little bit there. Unusual to see, that happen, but, we got some smoke. They make it clear through 1 and 2. 4 wide at Martinsville. Daniel Ballard able to get through it there on the inside by the curb. So action all over the place, no matter where you look. So back up front, though, it's going to be James Holzer trying to pull away as we see Mike Lepicki trying to get to the inside of the 66 of Joshua Segfrid, one of those Rev Racing cars, and he's got that teammate in front of him of Greg Olenek. So Mike Lepicki kind of trapped in between a couple Rev Racing guys.
Ooh, it's going to get tight right there, Jake. They're going to work their way off of turn number 4, and that's the type of racing you love to see here. That's why you love coming to Martinsville. I mean, these guys are just stacked up so close, and you have such different closing rates, such different ways of running the
Devin
track.
Zimmerman got sideways.
He must have saved it, Jake. I don't know if he...
They saved it. No yellow.
Oh, man. Woo! What a save, yeah. I don't know if Zimmerman's got brake issues or what, Jake, but that car just looks very, very angry right now.
Yeah, he's got a lot of damage on the front end. I think that was from that earlier wreck when he got into the back of Stan Hausman. But right now, Devin Zimmerman back in 12th with some damage, so hopefully, there's no engine overheating or any issues like that with the 33 car. As he's stuck on the outside, he's really going to have to work hard to get clear of the 11 to get down to that bottom lane. Because if not, man, he's going to lose 4 or 5 spots back here.
Jake, I tell you one thing I'm looking at up front, watching the lap times, and while Holzer begins to pull away, he's pulling away by about 2/10 a lap. Gregory Joyner is not actually gaining on Marshall Stanley. He's holding his own right there in second.
Yes, he is. Marshall Stanley is, holding his own, like you said, and kind of interesting to see that really between Marshall Stanley and Gregory Joyner. But, maybe, Greg doesn't want to be that second place guy stuck on the outside for a restart. And he'd rather start in third. That way he's able to get a better launch.
Yeah, Jake, and 3 threes are better than 1 or 2. And right there you've got him. You've got Jovi and you've got Devin. Devin's going to get a little bit of rear brake lock going into the corner there. Jake, I'm telling you, man, he's probably praying for a caution right now and that it's not him because that car is very ill handling.
Yeah, he is struggling right now. Now he's already got Daniel Ballard behind him, hounding his rear bumper, trying to get around. A little feisty on the radio between those two. Up here, though, Mike Lepicki up into 4th spot, getting around the 31 of Greg Olenek, and Rhett Tucker to the inside of the 31 car. So, again,
little tap there.
66
saved it. What a save by Josh Siegfried. Jake, I'm telling you, man, that's why we come to see these Xfinity guys. I mean, the talent that they have to be able to get that touch to the rear of the car, get it upset and save it, just keep on driving. I mean, it's that short track racing right there, buddy.
Oh, yes, it is. Oh, back in the pack. Daniel Ballard got a shot by the 33. Yeah, a little history brewing between these two.
Well, Jake, wow. I didn't get to see it, man. Hopefully we have a replay of it. I don't know if we do, but we'll take a look and see. Our production booth's trying to get on it, but right now we've just got so much good racing all over the track.
Yeah, we do. Joey Sagiped's back up into, what is this, I think 11th spot, so he's trying to get back through the field. Obviously, he was up front and spun all by himself. He wants to get back up there. He's got the same pace as Marshall and James Holzer. He's just mirrored 7.5 seconds behind, so he's got to go to get back up front, man. But Daniel Ballard is really, really reeling him in, and, he's making quick work of all these cars in front of him.
James Holzer just pulling away up front here, Jake. I mean, those fresh tires are definitely playing benefit to him. He's going through, looks like he's already starting to catch a little bit of lap traffic. I'll tell you, Jake, I just had a chance to go back and rewatch it. It looks like it was kind of short track tempers, buddy. It looks like going into turn 1 and 2 that Bowdler got into the back just a little bit of Devin Zimmerman, and he repaid the favor coming off of turn 4. So, man, that's, like we said, that's just the love of short track racing, without a doubt.
It is, and we got a battle for 7th right now. 66 and Josh Marcy side by side into 1. This is a battle for 7th place right now. It's probably the closest battle for a spot in the top 10, and Josh Marcy makes quick work of the 66. He's going to try to run down the 31 of Greg Olenek for 6th. So got some guys moving up through the field that kind of started further back in the pack right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Jake, these old tires are not doing nearly as bad as what I thought they would. I mean, they're starting to fade just a little bit. Look at Gregory Joyner starting to slowly reel in Marshall Stanley, but Greg Olenek is actually holding his own pretty well there in the top 10. He's 6th. You remember he restarted third on that last restart, so he's just slowly, methodically, just kind of moving around there. I'm watching the lap times up front. You may have James Holzer be faster this lap. Marshall Stanley may be faster the next lap, but like I said, Holzer is loving what he's watching in his rear view, because the closer the Gregory Joyner gets to Marshall Stanley's back bumper, that's the harder that those two have to work, and the further away.
Oh, we got one around.
Oh, middle of 3 and 4 here, Jake. It looks like Aaron Gerwitz here is around.
Yeah.
I have a feeling, Jake, that after that, I think knowing what you knew out of the first 30-lap run, I think everybody's going to be on pit road here. But let's take a look at our Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay just to see what happened here.
Can't get it turned around, man. He's sitting down there. He's got himself a lap down now. Down in 3.
Oh, that! Oh,
yeah, opened the door and shot by the 3 car. Obviously get into the back of Daniel Ballard's Jovi Sagiped, but don't think it made too much damage for those two. They make it through. So all of our leaders right now to down pit lane.
Man, Jake, I tell you, that's a closing rate. I mean, Ballard was moving through the field, and I think he was just kind of running his line. I don't think that he expected Gerwitz to quite get as checked up as what he did there. Sometimes, Jake, when you're running and you don't have cars quite as close to you.
Amazing drive by Ryan Ducombe to get around the 09 to the inside.
I tell you what, Ballard got a little bit of a shot right there, but let's take a look and see here if we can view what we were talking about earlier, because there was another shot. He gets down into turn 1. He's just a little harder on the brakes. He moves Zimmerman up the track. I mean, that's kind of sometimes how you have to do it at Martinsville, and I think Zimmerman didn't appreciate that move very much. We get back down here into turn 3. He drives back up and just hits Ballard in the back bumper.
I wonder if we can get a rear view and see how deep the 33 sent that one going into the corner.
Oh, he sent it pretty deep.
Go. Oh, yeah, I think he did. I mean, yeah.
Little
6 is
right
kind of get to the inside, and he's kind of blocking for, whatever that was, about 12th place or whatever it was. And here you go, Alder's kind of driving away about a car length separating them, and man, 33 Jake, using up that front end.
Jake, I tell you, buddy, I mean, we were talking about his brakes a little bit earlier, and I swear it looked like the same thing. Did you notice how the car kind of cut to the left, and it was almost like he was trying to save it? And sometimes when those cars cut like that and you try to save, you can't get the car woed down. It just keeps driving and driving, and like I said, I don't know if there was any intention on that or not, but like I said, I think that 33 car is definitely happy that we've got that caution, because he's going to definitely want to come down, get him a faster pair, and hopefully get that thing a little more under him than what it had been for the first part of this race.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if he's used his faster pair, and he hasn't yet. He's missing his front end, so got a modified driven by Devin Zimmerman in that 33 car. So we'll see what happens with him there. But back up front, man, the 42 of James Holzer, the 25 of Marshall Stanley, and the 85 car of Gregory Joyner is our top 3 right now, Dean.
Yeah, Jake, and I tell you, everybody pitted on that but Aaron Gerwitz, and I think more than anything, he just kind of stayed out so he can get a wave around. He's in a very tough predicament right here. He's going to get his lap back so that way he's back on the lead lap here, but he's going to be dealing with, once again, about 30-some lap-old tires, and we saw...
Yeah, they're going to be 65 lap-old tires, Dean. He has not pit yet.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
he didn't.
Come on,
pit,
buddy.
Did he?
Keep up, man. Come on, Dean.
I'm sorry. Listen, my pit reporter guys are just not doing, not barking in my ear loud enough. But yeah, Jake. I mean, you think a half a second is what it was before? What 65 laps going to be? And I think if anything, right now he's hoping for a quick caution to get some traction underneath him. But
right back on it though. James Holzer going to get early on that gas. Going to let Greg Joyner get to the end or clear Marshall Stanley into 1 on the inside. So Gregory Joyner up to 2nd. Going to bring his teammate Rhett Tucker up to 3rd. Oh, I've got a spin out of 2. Devin Zimmerman around, Dustin Scruggs, Troy Techmeyer, Emerson Ardon, Derek Da Silva. So 3 tank cars involved in this accident. Bobby Anderson in the 18, Troy Techmeyer, I think I said his name already, obviously. Man.
Yeah, Jake, that was definitely the caution that Aaron Gerwitz was looking for. He didn't get involved in that one, so he'll be able to come around and get him some tires. But let's take a look here with our rec replay and see what happened.
Yeah, we'll see another Sandwich Man rec replay. They coming into turn 1 on this restart, barreling down there.
Yeah, that 89 car, Jake. It looks like Brad Williams just got into the left rear of Evan Zimmerman and around. He started to go, and something like that, it's hard to get checked up on, Jake. I mean, you've got a choice there as a driver. You can either just back the thing into the fence or try to save it. Right there, why wouldn't you try to save it? I mean, you got a lot in this race car here, and I mean that's just a restart at Martinsville, buddy. And unfortunately for Zimmerman, I don't know. Yeah, he already used his fast repair. That's it.
No, Dean, he's not used it.
Did he not use it?
He had no front end. He had no front end on that restart.
Okay.
Hey, Dean, it's okay. Don't worry. Thank God there's two of us up here.
Well, I think
no front clip for the 33 here. Yeah, there she is.
Okay, all right. I looked at it wrong. I thought he had his front clip back. So no, he's just going to get sent around. And fortunately, with the hits that he took, it's not going to bust that radiator, and he's going to be able just to continue onward, Jake.
Yeah, and Joey Logano said it best. That's just short track racing right there on a restart, man. It's the guy's going to get it taken out, but that is what happens here on this this half-mile track of Martinsville Speedway.
Yeah, Jake, I mean, we were at a half mile 2 weeks ago at Bristol, and I mean, that track, at least you had banking to go through, and we were scooting around there at about 15 or so seconds a lap. Here, it takes just a hair longer, about 20 seconds a lap, but the biggest difference between the two at Bristol, you're just high speeds the entire time. There's not a lot of slowing down to kind of make the corner. Here, you're going from roughly about 120 miles an hour, maybe a little faster, all the way down to about maybe 60 miles an hour, maybe a little slower depending on how deep into a run it is. So, I mean, this car constantly is going through changes in terms of the suspension. It's either speeding up and putting a lot of weight to the rear or slowing down and putting a lot of weight to the front.
It definitely is. And, I got to imagine at this point, we're 80 laps to the end of this thing already. I can't imagine any more leaders are going to come down pit lane again, to get pit stops, get fuel or tires. I think, it kind of hurt them at that point with so few laps left now.
Yeah, Jake, and I think, you may actually wind up surprised before this race is over with. I think you may see some of these guys come back, just depending on how many laps there are left to go in the race. I mean, they may very well. Like I said, we just won't know what the race holds until it happens.
Definitely, and, we're going to get another restart here, obviously. The 42 car is going to take the inside lane. So here we go. He's got two Bronco Motorsports cars right behind him trying to get him around or get around him. But the 42 is going to get another good restart.
Ooh, big wheel spin by Rhett Tucker there on the inside. Good job by him.
Check the inside lane up, though.
He's going to let Marshall Stanley move down in front of him. He's going to get a little bit of a touch from behind, and they're going to work their way back off of turn number 2.
And off of 2 they go. They've got, 10 rows of 2 wide as they barrel down into turn 3. Oh,
3 wide. That's not going to work. That's not going to work.
No, it's
Someone's
not.
going to have to give, Jake. Oh! And Daniel Bowler goes around off the nose of Greg Olenek. Oh, goodness. Oh, and they're packing him behind
them.
them.
Oh, man. Aaron Gerwitz involved again. Man, oh, man. Carnage is happening right here at Martinsville Speedway.
Oh, Jake, I think that's going to be a definite rewind here for the Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay, because I don't exactly know what happened there. I mean, they had gotten 3 wide, and it looked like between Daniel Bowdler and Greg Olenek, they just kind of ran out of room. Olenek got shoved to the outside, come off the corner. Olenek's all the way up by the wall, and I think
I don't know why you don't lift.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know there, Jake. I mean, somebody's going to have to lift in that situation, and man, if you're the guy on the outside, you're kind of the odd man out. It looked like Lepicki had gotten a little bit tight and just kind of washed up the track, and I don't know, man. I mean, that's a tough one there. You don't want to be the
wow. Sorry, Dean. He got ran over from behind.
Yeah, you just don't want to be the guy there in the game of chicken to be the first one to lift for that position, but at the same time, you got to know what the end game is.
Yeah, because, I mean, you see him move up the track. He knows he's got cars. Wow. That's... Oh, the 84 Nathaniel Mon involved. Not sure who that car that was spinning right there. And you can see, right behind the 84 car, Nathaniel Mon. What it's going to look like, coming behind a wreck and having it happen in front of you. I mean, he's got nowhere to go because he's got a car to his inside. gets a little tap from behind. Devin Zimmerman involved in another, getting some contact from this accident. 5 of Derek De Silva was able to check up and get around it. No damage there, but man, what started out to be a clean race is kind of in the halfway point. It's turned into a little bit of a yellow fest.
Yeah, I think these guys are going to get it straightened up, though, Jake. I mean, right now, here's going to be the fun part, right? Tempers are going to be high, man. I mean, we've already seen it a couple times here in this race tonight. Some tempers flaring, getting a little bit out of control here and there. But, man, at the same time, I mean, these guys, they're some of the best that we have. And I think they'll get it straightened out here. But if you're someone like Marshall Stanley now fighting your way back to third, you want to see this thing go green. You want to get back up there to James Holzer and try and show him, hey, there was a reason I was leading earlier, without a doubt.
Absolutely. You kind of want to send a message to one of the Cup guys like, hey, you might be dropping down to run with us, but, that might not mean you're just as fast as us and things like that. So we'll see, though. Another restart here. See if this 42 car can hold on.
Yeah, Jake, it's going to be definitely an interesting restart. I want to see what happens with Rhett Tucker there on that outside. He got a bunch of wheel spin that last time around. I want to see if it happens with Marshall Stanley as James Holzer takes off.
Marshall Stanley away.
Just walks away, Jake. And Gregory Joyner is going to try to clear Marshall Stanley. I think Marshall's going to let him in a little bit. Nope, Marshall's going to dive down in there. They're going to be too wide as they work their way off of turn 2. Marshall to the inside of Gregory Joyner, but James Holzer just kind of waltzing away from the pair of them. He loves seeing them side by side in his rear view.
Absolutely. 35 had to check up a little bit. Thought those two were going to make contact in front of them. That's the 35 of Josh Marcy from RSR. Got a couple of RSR cars, 3 of them in the top 10 right now. With Josh Marcy, Ryan Yukon, and Joey Sagiped. So good run so far. Only halfway, though, so anything can happen.
Yeah, Jake, and I'll tell you what, Marshall Stanley gets that thing pointed straight. Rhett Tucker's stuck up there on the outside, and he has a long way behind him. He might get in behind Josh Marcy, but he's going to have to be very, very careful to not get hit from behind by Ryan Ducom, and Ducom's going to give him a little shot. Moving off the track, and around goes Tucker. Yep, that's what you had to worry about there.
Wow.
Everybody dragging.
Cars able to scave through around the inside and the outside.
Oh, man. Ooh. I can't tell if anybody else got in that or not. I can't tell if the 18 of Bobby Anderson got any type of damage there or not. But, yeah, Jake, I mean, you saw it live, but we'll take a look at our Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec replay. Rhett Tucker just trying to get down in front of Ryan Ducom just to try and maintain a little bit of track position. And just that closing rate of speed, Ducom just comes back up and yeah, that's not the angle we were looking at. A little further back, he got tagged a little bit, got moved up the track, and then boop, there's one tap. Ducom goes to stick his nose underneath, and he's just not quite clear there, Jake. I mean, I think Tucker did a great job of, even though he got that little shot.
32 hard on the brakes right there last second.
Oh, yeah, that was close, but yeah, I think he did a great job of still holding the spot, even though he got that little shot, and Ryan just got a little aggressive there, and around went Rhett.
Yeah, gave him a shot into one, opened the door, and then, they just kind of filled the space. 81 didn't want to let him by. The 7 didn't want to wait another lap to get around. And, that's just kind of what happens at short tracks.
Jake, sorry, Jake, go ahead.
You got to pick your battles, when to let a guy go, when to battle him. And I think it's just, we're 70 laps away from the end of this thing. I think you just kind of got to run your own race right now. If a guy's there, I think you're just going to put yourselves in bad situations. The 7 obviously got by him without spinning or anything, but he's got to have right front damage. So, it might look like he got away with that one, but, if he's got damage, that's going to hurt him, even on a track like here, Dean.
Jake, there's one last replay I want to see of that, and that's Jovi Sagiped's on board.
Of course you do.
I listen, hey, I'm a hard man to please. Man, I tell you what, Jovi had a prime seat to that. This was a little bit crazy. So he's right in behind Danny Dow, and he starts seeing these guys move loose. Get on the binders.
Baby. Wow.
Just a good piece of driving there by Jovi. Great piece of driving there by Jovi Sagiped, my pick for the race. And Jake, I tell you what, he's back up to 9th after his early self-spin. So going to be interesting to see how this plays out here to the end. I mean, we're a little past halfway. We're going to have roughly about, what do we have here, about 65 laps to go. So I'm telling you, man, for whatever reason, I don't think that we're done on pit road. I think these guys are going to get this thing straightened out. We might have a couple more cautions to the end, but I think 4 tires and fuel are going to be a prime key here very shortly.
Yeah, we'll see about that. But we're up front, man. The 42 Holzer again. Gonna lead him to the green. He's gonna wait. He's gonna wait, and then he's gonna go early right there. The 42. Another great restart from him. He's gonna clear him, make second and third be side by side into one. But Marshall Stanley really sends it into one, trying to get clear of the 85 of Gregory Joyner.
Yeah, Jake, and I tell you what, Gregory Joyner and Marshall Stanley right now having some of the most respectful racing I can see. Gregory definitely had a chance to roll the corner a little bit better. Back behind him, the 35's around on 4. Oh, and Red Pucker goes around again, Jake. Oh, man.
Wow. We'll see here.
That's just...
Yeah, Dean, you got to be in what, 9 or 10 right now for cautions, hot dogs?
Yeah. Well, you know, we have the sandwich man, not the hot dog man.
Is a hot dog a sandwich man though, or is a hot dog?
Oh man, he gets a little tap there from Danny Dow, and you know, I mean, the thing is when you're Danny at that point, man, you can't lift out of it. You're going to get run over. I mean, you just got to self-preserve your spot there, and he just keeps going. But to answer your question, Jake, no, a hot dog is not a sandwich. I believe legally it is considered a taco, but that's just my two cents.
Wow, interesting there for you to call it a taco, but there you saw the 21 get into the 35, and you know that sends them around. Obviously, these two drivers displaying their disagreement on the situation here in the race chat. So, man, Dean, it's turning into last night. I hope you got your water.
Well, you know, I tell you what, I got a little bit of water, got a little bit of the official team beverage of Roel Smith Racing, a little bit of a PepsiCo product under the name of Mountain Dew. So, yeah, man.
I didn't see this though. The 81 got tagged by the 6 behind the accident. Wow.
Yeah, that was behind it, buddy. Yeah. Hold on. You called me out on it earlier. So, Jake, you got to pay attention, man. Come on.
Oh, sorry. It's just I got it right down where you're missing things, but wow, didn't see that one. I apologize.
Hey, that's the joy of it. We get to go through and patch up what the other one misses. That's why I think we make a good broadcast team, at least, right?
Hey, that's what they tell us. You know, we get the invite back each and every week, so here we are, man. But what a doozy so far. You know, we have a smaller field, but you know we're on caution number 9, and I just don't know if it'll end. You know, these guys only have one fast repair, but I mean, it's a demo derby out there right now, Dean.
Yeah, Jake, and like I said, I mean, the aggressiveness is definitely coming up here with these guys. I mean, we're getting ready to come down to about 60 laps to go, and, you know, it's definitely ramping up. You can definitely see the light at the end of the tunnel, but like I said, I think they're going to get settled here. It may take a couple tries, but they're going to get settled here. James Holzer is going to have the field, and he's going to go early, Jake, and get a big jump on Marshall Stanley. That's going to let Gregory Joyner go ahead and be in second place to try to track him down single file for about the first 6 or 7 cars, but 2 wide behind them.
2 wide behind them, man. There was a lot of contact again in 1 and 2 up here about 5th or 6th place with Danny Dow, the 7. Jovi Sagiped, don't look at that now. Jovi Sagiped clears him now off exit.
They got
that
through
looked
there.
Bad.
Danny Dow's got to be very, very careful here, Jake. Look, that front end's gone, and the last thing he needs to do is run up there and touch someone in the back and potentially risk that radiator and potentially end his night. I don't know if he has a fast repair left or if right now he's just kind of mustering on what he can, expecting for there to be one more pit stop. But like I said, right now fighting inside the top 10, so good run for that 21 car this evening. He's had a few rough races this year, Jake, so definitely good to see him back up where he belongs.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we've seen him kind of get taken out at the end of these things and obviously not get the finish, you know, we know Danny Dow's capable of having. So right now, you know, though, up front, the 42, James Holzer's got about almost a half a second lead over second place Gregory Joyner, but Marshall Stanley there in third. And then back to Cole Martin, man. Won the truck race last night. He's in 4th place. So Cole Martin, you know, led every single lap, but he's up in the top 5 of this thing, Dean.
Well, Jake, I tell you what, I don't recall, and unless I'm mistaken, I don't think we've yet this season had a move-up winner in any of our series who won the night before, have we?
No, I don't. There's been no one that's won the night before, the series before to move up and win the next one. So no one's kind of gone back to back.
I'll tell you what, Cole Martin last night, he won a race for the record books, like we mentioned at the top of the broadcast. Led every single lap last night, as well as there were more cautions in that race than any Speed Racing Network event that we've ever had. So he already got him one grandfather clock last night, Jake. I think he's looking to try to punch his ticket for a second one and make a little more history here this evening.
Yeah, trying to go back-to-back. That'd be something to write about. You know, I almost wonder, Cole Martin, could he have performed just as well in the Xfinity Series as the Truck Series? Got some action back here in the pack. I think they almost tried, almost had a yellow flag, but they got it going. And the 11 of Dustin Scruggs got some damage. 23 of Daniel Keith Jr. So, there's action all over the place. Punches are being thrown, so to speak, on this racetrack. Dean Brummett, I guess, is MIA. But up front, James Holzer, this 42 car, still holding about that half-second lead. Pretty impressive right now that he was kind of behind him, for a while. Now he's back up. He's in the lead, and he's kind of driven away a bit, and, no one's able to get back to him.
Jake, Sean up in the production booth, man. Yeah, I'm going to step in for Dean for just a little while here. What a great race we got going on right now.
Yeah, it is. It's really good right now, Sean. Glad to have you up here. Kind of give us your thoughts so far in this thing.
Man, I'm really loving the racing between Gregory Joyner and Marshall Stanley. It's as respectful as you can possibly be on a short track where there's a lot of give and take, but still a really, really good race back here. But James Holzer right now is the class of the field, and he's just kind of getting some practice laps in for Sunday night, I think.
Yeah, it kind of seems like he's taking a page out of my own book when I would drop down into the Xfinity race just to get more track time, seat time. I think it really pays off for Sunday, obviously, and I know Holzer has been trying really hard to get that first win in the Cup Series, so I got to imagine if he wins it tonight, it's only going to give him a bigger boost of confidence going into Sunday night's race.
I go to get a hot dog for 1 minute, and you bring some other guy into this booth. What's wrong with you?
Well, hey, I'll jump right back out, buddy. You guys have fun tonight.
Hey, we thank you, buddy. Hey, good seeing you in the booth, Sean. Have a good night, man.
Well, Dean, now that you're back, man, you haven't missed much, but James Holzer's kind of opened this up to 1.3 second lead over Gregory Joyner. And we got a yellow, though. So it erases it, Dean. Looks like you need to go get another hot dog.
Well, fortunately, Jake, I stocked up this time. No, Jake, I think this is definitely going to be that caution that I told you about. I think you're going to see all these guys back on pit road. I have zero doubt in my mind they are coming for 4 tires of fuel, but let's take a look what happened here on the Sandwich Man Racing Sports and Memorabilia Rec Replay.
The 84 Nathaniel Mon, obviously, we saw him spinning out early, but we'll see this Rec Replay. Kind of riding all by himself. Oh, he got a little bit of help right there by the 35 cover.
Man, Daniel Bowler in it again, man. I mean, that's
pit strategy, man. I know we're watching this replay, but our leaders came down pit lane. But the 3 car, the 7 car, Ryan Ducombe and Jovi Sagiped and a couple other guys stay out with them.
Hey, man, I mean, when you're Jovi and you're Ryan, I mean, you think about it, dude. You're locked into the championship playoff. You don't really care at this point. You just want to take yourself another win and potentially some more bonus points into the playoff. And I think Jovi looked at this and said, "Hey, it's getting a little more yellow out here. This might not be a bad move." Tell you what, Jake, I can't tell how many of these guys are a lap down or not, but there's a lot of cars that stayed out.
There's 11 cars on the lead lap that did not pit. That's a lot of cars for these guys that just pit to have to get around. This might be one of the winning strategies we see right here, Dean. There might be 46 to go, but you and I both know how quick these laps can tick off, and obviously we've seen tons of yellow, and now you put guys with new tires back about 10th, 11th, 12th place. Cautions breed cautions, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, man, and it'll be interesting to see how these cautions actually wind up playing out before the end of this thing. I mean, if it stays green, if you're Jovi Sagiped or Ryan Ducombe, you don't want to see it. You don't want to see this thing go green. You want repeated caution after caution after caution. But there, even then, Jake, even if it goes green, that's a lot of distance to make up. I don't know what type of lap time fall off we were looking at there, but by the time that some of these guys get around these cars that did not pit, those tires could be equal again.
Absolutely. I mean, the last lap by Ryan Ducombe was a 20.9, so he's only 0.3 off his qualifying pace of a 20.6. So like you said, yeah, with that many cars, I think that's a good move right there. As opposed to when it was earlier when there was only 4 cars on, old tires. There's a lot of cars in between the guys that were in the top 5, before this yellow came out.
Oh boy, Jake, I think we have ourselves a great race getting ready to shape up here. Jovi Sagipet on the outside, Ryan Ducom. Jovi's going to go ahead and take off, and he gets a little close to the wall there. This is going to let Ryan have a very good chance to get to his inside. We got a spinner in the back, Jake. Oh, what a dodge there by Stan Hausman. Looks like Emerson Ardon around again for Tank Racing, and the strategy up front plays itself out a little more, Jake. That's another 3, 4, 5 laps we work under caution that they don't have to run faster under green.
Absolutely, and this is just going to help these guys that stayed out even more. More laps are going to click off. So, it's going to make even less time for these guys to get there. 89 car, I think, is going to come down here. Oh, they sandwiched together. Man, another Bronco car involved. Oh my Lantadine. Wow. Yeah. Nice driving right there by that 39 car, Stan Hausman.
That was one of those yes, no, yes moments right there as soon as he saw that wreck in front of him.
And right in front of Daniel Baller, man. He has just had not the night we thought he would have here tonight at Martinsville Speedway. Oh, man, the 39. I love it. Great job, Stan. Stanimal, as he's called. I know out in the YouTube chat we've seen that a couple times earlier this season. So he's showing his driver talent right there.
Oh man, our camera changed. All right, so he's going to be down the backstretch, kind of all on his own here, Jake. A lot of front end damage, and he gets into turn 3, comes out of 4, just kind of sees the wreck in front. He begins to hit the brakes, and the rear end goes around as he sees the 57 back up. Oh, wow. Man, that was just a very good save. That thing looked like it was headed for disaster for sure.
A heck of a wreck avoidance right there. Yeah, I guarantee he never thought the 57 would be backing up in front of him like it, obviously it unfolded in front of him. But no contact there. But up front, we got the 3 car of Jovi Sagiped, Ryan Ducom in third or second, Joshua Segfried in third for Rev Race, and the third RSR car in the top 4, man, Joshua Marcy. So 3 RSR cars in the top 4.
Yeah, Jake, and I'm just kind of looking back here. I mean, in just that short little time, James Holzer managed to get up to 10th. You got Marshall Stanley, who worked his way back up to 13th. And so Stanley's going to have the inside there. But I tell you right now, Jake, it's definitely going to be a little bit of a crapshoot as to which lane is going to go, which lane is not, especially with these guys with older tires up front. But right now, Jovi Sagiped going to the outside again. It didn't work out very well for him last time. I'm a little shocked to see him take it, but he's going to get on the gas here, work his way off turn 4, and down for turn number 1 we go. Barely going to get clear of his teammate Ryan Ducom. And
they're already wrecking before the start-finish line, the back of the pack. This is just going to continue to help these guys.
Oh no, Marshall Stanley's around, Jake.
Wow.
Oh, Jake. The cautions breed cautions, and like I said, I'm still expecting.
The 42, James Holzer got involved in the accident too later on.
Let's see what happens here, Jake.
Yeah, the 42 got wrecked after the yellow was already out. Here we are, the 25. Oh, I think that was Michael picking the 46, got tagged from someone on his outside, and it shot him down to the inside of the track. And then got into the 32 of Troy Techmeyer, and Marshall it was kind of just an accordion effect right here.
Did Rhett spin the tires, Jake?
Must have been, and then the 42 blinks out and gets spun.
Oh man, Jake, that's rough. I mean, that right there is I'd have to say is definitive net code.
It all happens right in front of Mike. He's got nowhere to go. The 32 makes contact.
Rhett didn't spin the tires. Whoever that was in front of Rhett looks like he might have spun the tires. Rhett got back into him. It was Daniel Keith Jr. and looks like Rhett got into the back of him that stacked everything up. So, Jake, that's the accordion effect that you have when you go to the track here. When you go from 55 miles an hour to 120 in a quarter of a mile, this is the type of stuff that can happen. And when you don't have a very wide track at all, a lot of guys
you
get caught
see
up.
the smoke. The 42 spinning out, but you don't see him because he's blinking out. Whew.
Well, Jake, it just gets the plot thickens a little more and a little more by the lap here, and I tell you what, but just because of the guys who did have tires and just went around there in terms of James Holzer and Marshall Stanley, buddy, I'm telling you, I think Jovi Sagiped or Ryan Ducombe might be sitting in the catbird seat for the end of this thing.
Yeah, you got James Holzer in 26 right now. Marshall Stanley is in 22nd right now. The third other fast driver on the track was Gregory Joyner. He's in 17th. So like you said, those guys are going to need a miracle, I think, at this point to get back up front. And, it's going to be we're going to have some new faces up front trying to win it. Jovi Sagiped was leading this thing and, looped himself all by himself. So he's fast. I mean, he led the first probably 30, 40 laps of this thing before he turned himself around. So we'll see here on another restart. He's taking the outside, Dean. We're going to have 34 laps to go when we get green flag racing here.
I talked to Jovi the other day, and I think he had mentioned something about doing some Kane Cook coaching, but I don't think that's how you want your hard charger award. But he wants it here, Jake, from going back to front and up front again. He's going to get on the gas down for turn number 1 we go, and Ducombe, his teammate's going to get right to his bumper.
The 18.
3 wide off of turn 2. 18's going around. He's into the 8 of Dylan Patterson.
Bobby Anderson around into the fence. Another
somebody
84,
else there.
Nathaniel Mon.
84, Nathaniel Mon. Yeah. Well, Jake, the Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay is pretty much loaded and ready to go at a moment's notice.
My, oh my.
Let's just see here what happened.
Yeah.
He was up front running pretty well, Jake. And
yeah, he's about 6th place right here.
Gets to the back of Hurwitz.
The 09 checked up.
Bounces the curb, and then he just gets sent around by the scrub.
Yeah, that's just kind of, again, one thing happens leading to another. Wow, cars running into other cars. 84, just no place to go up against the wall with the car stuck sideways. Man. Yeah, the 09 checked up early for the corner. 18 got in there awkward, kind of hit the curb. I think he washed up, and the 11 wanted to get around him. And, same thing we saw earlier with the Rhett Tucker and one of the other drivers, kind of getting involved in the same type of incident in the middle of 1 and 2 on a restart, Dean.
Yeah, Jake, that's one of the big things here at Martinsville, and it's tough to kind of judge it sometimes. But, you see how much distance he's got behind him. He thinks he should be well past clear, and, he kind of moves up the track. Looks like he got loose just a little bit, and that closing rate again is just so fast, and Scruggs just really didn't have anywhere to go. And unfortunately, around goes our Truck Series driver, Bobby Anderson.
Yeah, one of the independent drivers, unfortunately, going to be back in the pack now after getting spun out. He's going to have to get this wave round once we get the 1 to green. He's right in front of our leader, Jovi Sagiped. So going to be tough sledding for him the rest of the race. Him and James Holtz are going to try to be making their way back up through the pack. James got the lucky dog this yellow. So he's on the lead lap, but he's back in 25th. So, this is shaping up to be quite interesting how this thing's going to unfold in front of us. We're going to get less than 30 laps to go whenever we get the 1 to green. So, Dean, man, this is your pick back up front now.
Yeah, Jake, and he surprised me a little bit with these outside these outside restarts. Kind of makes you wonder if it's not something that's organized between the two, just to say, hey, driver, get on down in front of me. I'll let you have it. But if you're Ryan Ducombe, you kind of watch that happen throughout the race, and kind of makes you wonder: do you let your teammate into this false sense of security, and he's going to take that outside one of these times, and you're just going to go ahead and say, "Well, I'm gone," and down to the inside you go.
Right, and we saw Ryan Ducombe use the bumper on Jovi in the middle of 1 and 2. I don't think that was intentional at all. It's probably an accident there. Obviously, these two are teammates; they're really close friends, so. I'm sure Jovi was a little nervous when he got the shot from his own teammate in the middle of 1 and 2, but again, he's going to take the high side, so it's a timing thing to get them both cleared in a way. That way, the 7's not stuck on the outside, and it's 1, 2, 3 right now for RSR, and they're 4th driver and 6th, so they got some racing guys around him too, though.
Well, trying for another record-breaking night here tonight, Jake. We've never had a team finish all on the podium together. So Josh Marcy, Jovi Sagiped, and Ryan Ducom trying to make that happen again. But right now it's going to be that driver number 3 on the outside with the field in tow. A little bit of a slow restart there for Ryan Ducom, and they're going to work their way down for turn 1. Josh Marcy kind of got the worst end of that deal. But Daniel Bowler's around again.
Man.
He's in a Greg Joyner, Derek De Silva involved once more.
More laps are going to be ticking off. Man, oh man. Tempers are flaring in the race chat.
Let's see what
Another
happens.
Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay, Dean. Make sure you check them out on Shopify. Fans watching this race, they've got die-cast hats, t-shirts. Check them out. Awesome stuff on their Shopify website.
What happened there, Jake? That one really didn't show it that well. Bowler's he's gonna restart here on the outside.
8 gets a little wheel spin by the 8. Kind of checks everything up.
Yeah, he
got tagged by the 21. Danny Dow has just man. We keep saying it, Dean. It's that accordion effect coming down into these corners on these restarts when you're all stacked up like this.
Yeah, Jake. I mean, in a perfect world, if everybody hit the gas at the same time and everybody hit the brakes at the same time, you wouldn't so much see these accordion effects. But man, you got guys that are trying to get back to the front, Jake. I mean, guys that were up there, guys that know that they should be there, and they're just trying to work just a little more and a little more and a little more. And I'll tell you one guy that I'd like to take a look at here, who he's missed a few of these last wrecks. He hasn't really, we've said his name a few times. Looks like he may have that car under control a little bit better. Is that 33 car of Devin Zimmerman back up to the 12th position, and he's going to have to restart on the outside. But last time he came by, Jake, yeah, look, he's got that front end back on. It's a little crinkled, but he's shown a little bit of speed tonight. We'll see if he can't work his way back up into a top 10 or possibly even better. Yeah,
no doubt. Obviously, he's got the clean car now. He used that fast repair. So the 33, Devin Zimmerman, trying to get back up front after having, misfortune early on in this race, and kind of seen, the first few yellows some way or another. He was, getting contact from it, getting damage to that car. But, I think cautions are going to continue to breed cautions, Dean. It's kind of the name of the game. We saw it last night. It didn't seem like it was going to go that way tonight. This first half of this race, the first 60 laps, there were only 2 yellows. So, but, it's almost turned into another race, Dean, if you ask me.
I know we've had the exact opposite since there. In the last 2 laps, we've had 60 yellows. I don't know how that's happened, but it is what it is. But man, I tell you, like I said, right now, I think one thing that's kind of benefiting Jovi just a little bit. If you look on Ryan's left front there, his right front, it's going to be right above the actual decal for this light. He's got a little hood damage, but I don't know if that's so much affecting him right now. But Jovi's up there on that high side again, Jake. He's got the field to his rear. He's going to hit the gas, and off of turn 4 we go, down the front straightaway one more time.
And the front 2 get themselves cleared. The third RSR car is going to be stuck to the outside. Josh Marcy, 66, the yellow's out again.
And again here, Jake, we see smoke in the back, and don't know who it was this time. Jake, I have no idea who that was. Take a look back here. Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay and see if we can't find somebody. Can't see if we can't find some culprit here for this yellow.
Derek Silva in the 5 around. Not too sure how that happened though, but hey, we'll back this bad boy up for our fans so they can see what happened here.
Marshall Stanley in the outside wall a little bit here.
Oh, really cooked it into one and hard on the brakes. 25 getting some damage.
Yeah, Jake, sometimes with these cars, when they've got a little bit of damage, you try to go in and hit the brakes, and it's not so much that these tires aren't warm. They're definitely warmed back up. It's just a matter of sometimes this damage just takes some of that mechanical grip away, and when he goes through and hits the brake, just around he goes.
Absolutely, and that's the thing, man. When you get hard on the brakes at a track like Martinsville, man, that rear end just wants to swing out. That's what we just saw with the 5 of Derek De Silva, Dean Brummett.
Yeah, Jake, I tell you what, it's kind of bad because the longer this race goes on, I legitimately, even though we've joked about the hot dogs all night, they're starting to sound a little good right now, a little deep into this run.
I bet they are. I mean, heck, We've got 20 to go right now, but it's going to be less than that once we get back green flag racing. So, I think it's going to have to be someone in this top 5, top 6 that's going to try to take away the win from Jovi Sagipet. I just don't think, and at this point, man, I think those new tires are really kind of gone at this point. From barreling off on these restarts and getting down into one, it's just kind of equaled it all out.
Yeah, I think some of these guys here, Jake, they've got a chance to move up a couple spots here and there, but at the same time, it's definitely going to be a little difficult. I tell you what, we've got 2 to green. Why don't we try to reach down here and get our leader, Jovi Sagipet, and pick his brain a little bit, Jake, up here in the SRN booth.
Let's do it. Let's bring him up. Our production booth saying we don't know if we can get him up, but we will try.
Jovi Sagipet, this is Dean Brummett and the boss man, Jake Rowell, up here in the Speed Racing Network booth. How you doing this evening, buddy?
I am doing pretty good.
Well, Jovi, I tell you what. Sorry, go ahead, boss man. It's your car.
I gotta ask, man. You loop it? What was going through your head, man?
I'm like, damn, Jake is going to scream at me after this race, and I just messed this whole race up.
Well, buddy, you definitely rebounded pretty well here. We've seen a little bit of strategy we haven't seen all night in terms of these outside restarts. But, Jovi, it's worked very well for you, buddy. We're going to get you back down here to your team. We definitely look forward here as a teammate to speaking with you here soon. Go out there and do your best, buddy. We'll talk to you in a bit.
Thanks, brother.
But there you have it, Jake. The driver's he's in a good state of mind right now, going from first to worst to first again, buddy.
All right, we're going to get 17 laps to go, though, here, Dean, once this thing goes green. So we'll see what happens on this restart.
And, Jake, the patience is going to start wearing thin here for a lot of these guys. And it's looking like here Ryan Ducombe's going to fall in. And Josh Marcy's going to try to move to the outside just to try and see if he can clear the 66 car. He's not going to have a chance. And we actually made it through turn 1, Jake. We're working our way down here for turn 3 and 4.
Josh Marcy really up high, though, and there it is.
And there it is, Jake. We got through the 1 and 2, just not the 3 and 4 aspect, as Danny Dow goes around again. Jovi Sagipet is loving watching this right now.
I mean, this is, the same thing Cole Martin had. Obviously, it was the entire race. This wasn't like that tonight, but, it's the same situation when you're the leader, man. I mean, honestly, the best thing when you're up front on a short track, keep throwing the yellow. The laps go by so much quicker. You don't have to worry about making a mistake or anything like that. And we see right here Danny Dow, the 21, making a run down the back stretch behind the 11 of Dustin Scruggs. And, Devin Zimmerman really deep into that corner with the car on his outside. And around they all went. Yeah, those two, the 23 and the 33, definitely had some contact down the back. As you see him kind of, here we go. This is going to be it. 23 was early on the brakes, and the 87 of Cole Martin kind of got into the back of him and kind of got him out of shape. And, those two made contact, Devin Zimmerman and the 23. And that's what unfortunately sent Danny Dow around. And I hate to say it, Dean, but we were just talking about how Danny Dow was up front having a great race so far. And how, these last few weeks he's been taken out in the, closing stage of the race. And sure enough, Danny Dow again, unfortunately, getting turned around, with only 15 laps to go.
Yeah, an unfortunate nature of the beast here, Jake. I mean, right now, what you saw in those first 60 laps of the race was a lot of give and take by a lot of these guys. There's no more give and take. It's done. You're not going to see it. You're going to see nothing but hard, aggressive racing from here to the end. And the big thing with the give and take at a point of the race like this, you've got to know when you are the one who is about to get taken. When you see that car coming with a huge head of steam, you've got to mentally prepare for that. I mean, you're running your own race, trying to sit there, look in front of you, hit your marks, but you're also sitting here looking at the guys around you, trying not to go through and have your race in. You don't want to lose 15 spots just to try to save one.
Yeah, no doubt right there, Dean. You got that absolutely right. Hit the nail on the head with it. And again, man, kind of makes you wonder why more guys didn't stay out. It was about 45 laps to go when that yellow came out, and we saw a lot of the leaders come down pit lane, and 12 cars stayed out. So kind of makes you wonder, these guys were scratching their heads when they made that decision.
Yeah, Jake, that's sometimes the fun part about it here. We kind of sit here and go, why in the world did those guys do that? completely forgetting that we drive these cars too, and we know what it can be like at the end of these races.
Oh, you got that right. You know, you might think you have a great idea, and all of a sudden it's flipped over 180 degrees, and you're kind of wondering why you did it. You know, it can irritate a lot of guys when they think they made a really, really good call, and, you know, it just, for whatever reason, doesn't work out for them. But again, up front, the 3-car Jovi Sagiped's going to take that high side, you know, give his teammate the bottom, and we'll see this restart again as, you know, here we go. Jovi Sagiped going to bring him to the line with 11 laps to go.
Yeah, Jake, and this is going to be really, really close behind him. Let's see how everybody... Oh, this is not going to work. We are 4 wide into turn 1, and around we go. We're going under caution again, Jake. Oh, big wreck off of or in the middle of 1 and 2. Jake, I don't know who's trying to stick a car 4 wide here at Martinsville, but that's just not the way to do it here, buddy.
No, not something you want to hear if you're a driver in your ear by your spotter saying we're 4 wide at Martinsville. That's never going to work, and it looked like it was going to pay off. And well, what's paying off is Sandwich Man having these sports memorabilia wreck replays.
Yeah, Jake, let's take a look here and see what happens.
Yeah.
Holzer to the end.
James Holzer to the inside. Wow. That's three tank racing cars involved in one wreck right there. Derek De Silva, Michael Lepicki, and Emerson Ardon.
Now let's take another look at it here, Jake. Holzer's going to try to get to the inside,
and you know what's going through his head, man. When you get, you know, caught up in a wreck after you were the leader and you pit, man, it's frustrating. You're trying to make up as much as you can. And obviously the night has not gone how he's, you know, thought it would end up.
Yeah, man, and it's definitely difficult here. You know, I don't know if he thought that Emerson Ardon was going to kind of give him the spot, because Ardon was packed up a little bit behind the 89 Brad Williams, and he moved out to go ahead and pass him. I mean, he was going to go through and take him 3 wide, but I mean, just the way that they went in there, they were going to have the room, and Holzer went down in there and got to the inside of the 57, and he tried to use that magical grass line, Jake, and the grass unfortunately doesn't carry the same type of attraction that the pavement does.
No, unfortunately, man, we are not rallycross racing or anything like that. So, in a stock car, grass is not the surface you want to be racing on, especially here at Martinsville with the curbing and you know how unsettling that makes the cars. You know, in these corners, even if you touch it a little bit, not even getting on that grass, man, it just ruins your whole lap because you just lose so much time trying to recover the car and, you know, get back going at it. So I think we're going to get a restart with about 5 laps to go. So this is, you know, it's coming down to, you know, I think we're going to go through all 3 green-white checkers though, Dean. But, you know, I don't think the shake-up of the lineup's really going to change unless we see, you know, Clint Boyer-esque on Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson back in, what was that, about 2011 or something like that, Dean?
Yeah, something to that effect, Jake. I was actually at that race, crazy enough.
Yeah, well, couldn't imagine being that. You know, I'm a big Jeff Gordon fan, so I was definitely watching and livid. So I don't know how someone could be at a race like that and be a fan of any of those drivers and see that happen live. But so we're going to get the 1 to green. Jovi Sagiped again taking the outside. He's got 2 of his teammates right behind him in 2nd and 3rd. And then the 66 of Joshua Segfried in 4th place for Rev. Aaron Gerwitz having a good run here in 5th. We saw him get, you know, spun out, get a lap down. He got his lap back, and he's back up into 15. So here we go, man. Going to have 5 laps to go on this restart.
Yeah, buddy, it's going to be a quick, interesting one here. These laps are going to tick off super fast, and the 35, Josh Marcy, got himself to the inside, so you might get that RSR 123. But I'll tell you what,
Ryan Ducombe did not have a good restart here.
66 got a great restart. Ducombe's going to get to his inside, and Marcy's around, and 66 is around. This is going to be a big wreck.
No yellow yet.
There it is.
There it is. Now it is.
Oh man, that could have been a lot bigger than what it actually was, Jake. That could have been. Don't get me wrong. That's a lot of guys in it. No man, Greg Olenek in it. He needed a great points night, and that's just not going to do it, man. That's just not going to do it. Let's take a look and see what happens here with another Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think Josh is really hard on the brakes right there, not to get into Ryan Ducombe, and locked him up, looped it.
Yeah, but there was another wreck happening behind him, Jake. I mean, he got loose.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
He got
there were
loose.
About 3 wrecks right there.
And he tried to get it to the grass. I mean, kudos to him trying to get it off the track and away from everyone else. And when he hits the grass, it kind of comes back up. It looks like Rhett Tucker.
Oh, man.
Looks like Rhett Tucker and the 66 of Josh Siegfried came together a little bit there up front, but that wasn't the source of the actual biggest part of this wreck.
Yeah, there's just, I mean, you saw this wreck, the 66 went around in front, then everything outside of the 35.
If I'm Josh Siegfried there, buddy, I am just thankful as can be for Rhett Tucker, because I was about to go around and he got me straightened back up moving forward. Yeah, let's see it here from Greg Olenik's overhead view. Oh, man. Marshall Stanley and Gregory Joyner come together. Gets turned up the track right in front of the 31, man. That's a rough one. He's fought so hard all season, and just so many instances like that, Jake. That's just a tough one. But buddy, we're definitely going to go to that first green-white checker. Don't know if we're going to get all 3 of them knocked out here or not.
No, and right now, if you're the leader, Jovi, I mean, you're racing to that white flag. I mean, you just don't want anything else to happen. You never know what could happen. Someone could, bonsai it down into 1. Get into Ryan Ducombe and send him sliding into Jovi, anything like that. So, this is going to be interesting. I think we're going to have to use all 3 of them again. I just think there's a lot of impatience right now. Guys are frustrated. They're trying to grab as many points as possible. Obviously trying to get into those playoff spots, Dean.
Yeah, buddy. And like I said, it's, the big thing with it here is you want to get into those playoff spots. You want to grab those points, but are those points going to do you any good if you get somebody upset? And Jake, I tell you what, actually, Dustin Scruggs is up there in 3rd, so RSR might actually have that chance. Or no, is Scruggs part of this team? Yeah, he is. Okay, all right. I'm starting to gather the drivers, but Jovi's back on the gas one more time. We're going down here for turn number 1. Green flag out at Martinsville. 2 laps to go with Rhett Tucker's going to send Ryan Ducombe. The green is still out here, though, Jake.
Yeah, no yellow. Oh, we have a big
one. Oh, here it is. It's going to be around behind him.
Wow.
Jake, makes you wonder, at this point in the race, we always get to see the tempers at short tracks. Are you calling up the crew guys to go meet you down in the pits after this race?
Yeah, this is security better be ready, man. There's going to be a lot of upset drivers.
Yeah, man, I mean, looking at this restart, Tucker just got a great jump on the outside. I mean, he just got an awesome jump. And Emerson Ardon's going to go around here in the back. I believe that's going to be your caution. But Rhett just got a very good restart onto the outside. And in the process, I mean, he was just right there. Took a lot of momentum down into turn number 1 and just didn't quite end the way that the 7 car was hoping. So he gets a real big run. He's going to look to cross him, and right there, once again,
they haven't even cleared of him yet either.
Yeah,
they made contact.
Yeah, that was big contact, and he almost loses it back up off the corner here. And now the big thing is if you're Jovi, I think you got to take the inside lane this time, Jake.
Oh, I can tell you, I guarantee you he will. It'd be hand in the wind, man. Obviously, we see what guys are going to do to get up front. Whoever it's been, whether it's up front, middle of the pack, now you don't have your teammate to the inside. I think you got to take the inside. That opens the door for too much possibility of a dive bomb or anything like that. So if you're the 3 of Jovi, man, you just take the inside and get away, man. At this point,
absolutely. And I tell you there, Jake. I mean, right there, that's another thing with this Martinsville track, that accordion effect. I mean, Rhett got a very good restart. Ryan kind of moved up in front of him, and I mean, just from the broadcaster's point of view, almost looked like he was kind of blocking him just a little bit, trying to keep the line away from him. And Rhett just basically said, "Hey, I'm not having any of it." Got down in there a little deep, moved him up the track, and went to go on by. So I mean, that's a product of this type of racing, without a doubt.
Oh yeah, that's short track racing, man. It's going to happen no matter where you're at. Any local short track here at Martinsville Speedway, an Xfinity car, trucks. We saw it last night. we're going to see it Sunday night when we're out on the track too, Dean.
Yeah, Jake, I mean, we got some of the best drivers out there in our Cup Series Sunday night, but once again, man, I mean, no amount of skill, talent, and practice sometimes can prepare you for what the craziness will unfold when you wind up getting to a short track like this here in Martinsville, Virginia.
We're going to get the one to green, so our second attempt at the green-white checkered is going to unfold right here.
And if you're Jovi, Jake, you've restarted on the outside almost every time tonight. You have got to watch this rear wheel spin. You have got to get going, and more than anything, you've got to hope there that your teammate Dustin Scruggs is able to get by. Jake, I tell you, it's not over yet. You see who's in fifth right now?
Oh, I know. James Holzer in that 42, man. He wants to get back up front. It's going to be pretty wild here to see what the 42 car does on this restart.
I want to see this front row, and Jovi gets into the gas. He is gone, and we're going to be 3 wide behind him. Jovi spins. Oh, no, Jake.
Wow.
And we have a parking lot here, Jake. Oh, my
goodness.
I just said it, Jake.
I'm involved.
I just said it. I said, hey, he's been restarting on the outside the entire night. I wonder what's going to happen just based off of this inside. And, Jake, I swear it looked like when he went to go grab, maybe he restarted in second gear and just couldn't get the power down. But something happened here for Jovi Sagiped, and, it just breaks loose. I mean, I don't really think we're going to know what happened unless we see this onboard more than anything.
Wow. Carnage at that point. I mean, this blocks the whole track. Like 3 cars up on the windshield of the 39, kind of car rolling backwards into one. Wow. My.
Let's just see here, Jake. He restarted. It looked like Jake, he restarted in second gear, and second and third gear in these cars are matched so very closely together. They're almost the same gear. I mean, they're almost the same, maybe a couple miles an hour difference. And with him restarting on the inside the way that he did, it does not like that second gear restart, and he kind of spun the tires going from second to third, and in the process tried to gather it back up, and the biggest of big ones here on the front stretch.
Wow.
And the entire
it's like we're at Talladega right there, man. That's wild.
I know, man, and just like that, this race just got turned on its head. And Jake, I think this final green-white checker, because some of these guys, that was it, buddy. That bunch of cars out, and some of these guys may stay out to try and get a little more position, but right here, this is going to be it. This 81 Bronco Motorsports truck of Rhett Tucker. Bronco won last night, and if I'm not mistaken, last time Cole won, didn't Rhett win the next night as well?
I believe you're right, man. And don't look now, though, that 42 car, James Holzer. This could be interesting on this restart, Dean.
This is going to be crazy here, Jake. And I look back here at the third place car, RSR. He just watched 2 of his teammates go around. That's Dustin Scruggs, and hey, he may have something to say before this thing's over with. I mean, you got cars of every shape, size, make, model, fenders, no fenders, hoods, no hoods. I mean, these pit crews have been very busy today pulling sheet metal, but the only car right now that if you look at it is in one solid piece is that 42 car there of James Holzer. So he might just pull back on the most incredible comebacks that we've ever seen in Speed Racing Network history.
Absolutely. It makes you wonder what's it going to take to get around the 81 of Rhett Tucker if you're that 42 car. You want it. You were leading this thing before all these yellows were flying, and you came down pit lane, and it got you back in the pack about 10th or 12th place, and you're P2 on a final restart, Dean Brummett. You got to imagine this yellow is going to come out into one.
Jake, I have one question. Did we hit 20 or 21 cautions tonight?
I do not know what we're at right now, actually.
We'll have to take a look later. I can't tell if we broke our record or not, Jake, but the final restart here from Martinsville, Rhett Tucker's going to have the field to his rear. He just saw what happened to Jovi Sagiped, and he's going to get into the gas here. He's going to take off. A little bit of wheel spin, but James Holzer's going to be right there with him as we head for turn number 1. Holzer to his back bumper, and he's going to use that bumper to try to get to Rhett Tucker. He's going to try to move him if he gets the opportunity, for sure, Jake.
Yeah, they are, and they're bouncing off each other for third, but James Holzer right now, there's going to be a yellow.
And that's it. That's it, Jake. Rhett Tucker is going to be your winner from Martinsville.
Man, oh man.
And another RSR car goes around, Jake. That was the 11 it looked like of Dustin Scruggs.
Yeah, not too sure there, but congrats to Rhett Tucker, man. It seems like every week, right, or every time he's winning, man, it's it's just crazy endings to these races, and he, falls into these wins, man. It's just wild. Each and every win, obviously he deserves them, but it's just Bristol, 2 guys in front of him were wrecking coming to the white. Obviously here tonight, everything that happened, I mean, it's just crazy how this 81 car is able to get, take these wins, man, each and every time. It's pretty incredible.
I think they call one particular driver in the Cup Series the closer for moments just like that, Jake. And I mean, that's the thing with it. It's not always the fastest car who's going to win these races. Sometimes you got to have a little bit of luck and a whole lot of skill to get through. And for Bronco Motorsports, 2 nights in a row, they watch their drivers go out here and take a win. And Rhett Tucker's going to come here and burn it down on the front straightaway.
Yeah. This is
you sound like me. You sound like me. You're still a little shocked as to how the ending of that thing turned out, I believe.
It's just wild, man. How it's out of nowhere. All these things happen right in front of us.
That's the joy of being up here in the booth, Jake. We don't have to deal with the frustration of being out there on track when they happen.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It's crazy. Rhett Tucker going to be a 3-time winner, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure, Jake. I can't remember if he's had 1 win or 2 wins, but
I know he won at Phoenix, Bristol he won, and now here at Martinsville. So he's got 3 short track wins, Dean.
3 short track wins, Jake. It looks like we've got a pattern emerging, and the Bronco cars pull out here to burn it down as a team. The main one of those being Rhett Tucker, just going out here, getting his smoke show together and claiming that grandfather clock. That's just kind of crazy, man. I'm still kind of left in shock as to how everything played out there towards the end.
Oh, no doubt. Shell-shocked, honestly, how it all, unfolds right in front of our eyes, dude. What a race. I mean, it definitely turned into quite a bit of a wreck fest. But, hey, yeah. We're at the end here, the Clippy 150, so...
Well, Jake, I tell you what here, you're right. That was just crazy, man. But let's take a look at these race results. You got Rhett Tucker coming home first for Bronco Motorsports. James Holzer would love to have seen that caution come out maybe about 400 feet later so that he would have had a chance on the white flag. But our independent driver from the Cup Series is going to come home second. Dylan Patterson in third for R&D Motorsports. Marshall Stanley, a great recovery this evening, Jake, to bring home the 4th place finish for Rev Racing. Danny Dow, another great recovery there in 5th. Josh Siegfried in 6th. Daniel Keith Jr. In 7th for Team SRN. Mike Lepicki in 8th for Tank Racing, a very good finish for him. Emerson Ardon, after all the trouble he had in 9th. Bobby Anderson, another driver who had some issues this evening, comes home 10th.
11th place is going to be Bo Tiffany from Team SRN. Brad Williams in the 89 for Bronco Motorsports in 12th. 13th place, Derek DeSilva for Tank Racing. 14th is going to be Greg Olenek for Rev Racing. Cole Martin, our Truck Series winner last night, bringing it home 15th. Troy Techmeyer from Roe L. Smith Racing in 16th. 17th is going to be Nathaniel Mon from Bronco Motorsports. Then 18th, you got Ryan Ducombe for Roe L. Smith Racing. His teammate Dustin Scruggs right behind him in 19th. And then Gregory Joyner coming in 20th place for Bronco Motorsports.
Jake, I tell you what here, after a crazy race like that, seeing wrecks, spins, contact, everything, I think the biggest thing we need to look at here is just to get to our podium finishers, the guys who are on cloud 9. And the first one of those is going to be Dylan Patterson. Dylan, this is Dean and Jake Rowell up here in the Speed Racing Network booth. How are you doing this evening, buddy?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Doing real good, man. You come home third this evening. We saw a little bit of everything out of this race here tonight. What was going through your mind there towards the end when you get one of those last restarts and you see the leader, Jovi Sagiped, kind of spin the tires and go around? And did you think that you had anything for him coming to the end?
No, honestly, I thought I'd be the next one to somehow get sent around because I was avoiding everything all night. So I figured the last one was going to be my time. But no, I mean, that was crazy. I don't know how I feel about that third there because I kind of locked the tires up going into turn 3 right before the yellow. and it got into the 11, and it kind of net coded him into over to Marshall there. So that just left me the hole. So it's a short track. I'm going to take it, but yeah, probably could have finished a little cleaner.
Well, buddy, like you said, it definitely could have gone a little easier for a lot of folks here tonight. But Dylan, you still managed to get that third place finish. Anybody that you'd like to thank here this evening?
Yeah, you guys for putting on the broadcast. Obviously, all the sponsors that are with us. It's amazing the kind of backing that this league has, and I love being a part of it. And then, just a team owner at R&D getting this team together, kind of had a bunch of guys drop out, but now that we're one, seems to be last few weeks have seemed to be better, with the exception of this one being we only had me and yeah, he had some pretty crappy luck, but as Martinsville.
Hey man, it is Martinsville, and like I said, I know your teammate Daniel Badler just didn't have the best finish that he was looking for this evening. But Dylan, you got yourself a third place finish. Congratulations, buddy. We're going to get you back down to your team here.
All right, thank you. I think biggest mover as well.
Very possible. Let me take a look here and see real quick before we let you go.
Yeah, 21st to third
21st
place,
and third, buddy.
Heck of a drive tonight.
Heck of a drive,
Thank
buddy.
you.
Have yourself a good night, man.
All right, you too.
Hey, buddy. Bye. Well, Jake, we got to speak with our third place finisher, and let's go ahead and get our second place finisher up here.
Here we go. James Holzer finishing second. Oh, I'm not too sure if he actually is in disc. Oh, there he is. He's in Team SRN.
James Holzer, this is Dean Brummett and Jake Rowell up in the Speed Racing Network booth. How are you doing this evening, buddy?
True, we're doing all right.
Well, man, I tell you what, just a crazy drive tonight. We saw you go from the back to the front, to the back to the front, and there towards the end, I was sitting there looking and saying, man, after all the bad luck he's had tonight, he looks to be about the only clean car. And, I know you didn't want to see that last caution come out. Had it waited maybe another 400 feet or so, we might have been talking to you after second place. But, James, a good second place finish this evening, buddy. Walk us through your night.
For sure. I honestly wasn't even really going to move the leader, even though he wrecked me under caution earlier in the race. I don't know. I'm not getting points. I was happy with second after what was considered a lost run. I was saying to the team, I'm just pretty much going to ride and just hope that people are going to wreck. And it's exactly what happened. And I know people were upset with, capitalizing. But if I see people spinning and I see a hole, I'm not lifting. Like, there's 6 laps to go. You have to capitalize on positions because that's really the only way you can at the end. I didn't deliberately run anybody over. Of course, you're rubbing fenders and squeezing through. That's short track racing. We all knew it was going to do that at the end. I should have just stayed out on the tires. I should have known that there was going to be cautions at the end, but with 60 to go, I figured easily I was going to be able to make my way through. But I definitely think I had probably a top 3 car, no doubt. Once I got up front and was running up there, nobody could keep up, honestly, and typically not like that for me. Typically not the person to have the confidence to say, hey, I had the fastest car, but definitely think I had a top 3 car. And we had the track position, and so we had like that 25-ish lap run and came in and took 4 tires and lost about, 11, 12 spots or so. And it was like, oh yeah, we got a lot of time, even if there's cautions, we got a faster pair left, the car's spotless, we can make our way through. And just got spun there under the one caution by Rhett, and I don't know, I guess I was blinking a little bit. I don't know if it was deliberately because of that. I have to go back and watch it and see. But either way, we lost all that position, and the car just slid all the way down the banking, and naturally it was in front of everybody else. So we got bounced around like a pinball and came and used a faster pair, and it was just caution after caution after caution after caution. It was really hard to make up spots because even, they said people were saying the fresh tires didn't matter. They 100% mattered. Showed whenever we were, especially on the restarts, because the 7 spun out, or I'm sorry, not the 7, the 3 spun out on a straightaway. That's just when the tires start to matter. It's like I spun them a little bit on the last restarter. I think I might have even had a little bit of a, on the outside of the quarter of the 91 or whatever number Rhett is. But it was overall a good race. I wish it would have been a little bit cleaner at the end, but short track racing, we all knew it was going to happen, and unfortunately, I capitalized on the wrong strategy, but it ended up working out in my favor just by missing some cautions. The last one really helped, where they were spinning up on the high side and put 2 tires in the grass and 2 on the pavement and just was digging, and ended up, I don't even know how many spots I gained out of it, but it was a good bit, and was able to have bottom restarts on each of the green, white checkers and just advanced. And yeah, I don't know. I needed probably another lap to cleanly get to the inside of Rhett, but like I said, I wasn't going to make any irrational move for that. I maybe would have given him a bumper tap. I knew the tires were obviously way further out, so he had to brake early, but yeah, it's not my points place, and yeah, was, like I said, good enough to recover to P2.
Well, good deal, James. Well, congrats on your second place finish here, buddy. We're going to get you back down here to the group that you were speaking with. An independent coming down from our Cup Series tonight. James Holzer, congrats on this second place finish, man.
Yeah, heck of a drive, James.
Thanks. Before you cut me off, I just want to thank you guys up in the booth for calling the race. I want to thank Speed Racing Network. I also want to thank Extreme Sim Racing and Dirty Racing Podcast. Thanks, guys.
Hey,
anytime,
thank you,
James. Congrats on the P2, bud.
Thanks, Jake.
Well, Jake, that's our second place finisher, James Holzer. But right now, we've seen him a couple times this season. Going to see him again here in Victory Lane. We've got our winner tonight, Rhett Tucker. Rhett, this is Dean Brummett and Jake Rowell up in the Speed Racing Network booth. Congrats on yet another short track win this season, buddy. How's it going?
Thank you, guys. Never comes without drama, huh?
We were kind of mentioning that here, Rhett. It always seems like when it's coming down to the end of these short track races, there's always something crazy, and man, you just seem to be in the right place at the right time. Walk us through your evening.
Man, I was honestly just trying to work my way back up. I think I got wrecked twice, and I was trying to keep it clean. I didn't even use my quick repair, and I stayed out. I don't know, one of the last times that a lot of people pit, and that helped. And I just try to keep dodging cars, honestly, man, staying out of trouble, and found myself up there.
Well, buddy, you definitely found yourself up there, the right place at the right time. You know, one big thing that me and Jake were talking about that we saw out of you that we didn't really so much see out of the rest of the drivers this evening, you kind of had this uncanny ability to go through and restart pretty well from the outside lane. Any type of practice, anything special that you did just to get that, or just had the right traction at the right time, man?
Tried not to get on it too early. I know guys on the inside, they'll get a good run off, but if I can kind of, I don't know, keep the momentum up on the outside and really put the power down when I want to, you get a good launch off the outside line. But it's only good for like a lap. After that, the inside going to run away.
Well, buddy, you did everything that you needed to, being in the right place, the right time. Before we let you go back down to your team here, anybody that you'd like to thank this evening, Rhett?
Everybody for putting this on, man. You guys for broadcasting it, doing a killer job every week. Glad to be back. Everybody at Bronco, they helped talk me through some stuff. And, Bronco Motorsports, Sandwich Man Racing Memorabilia, Shoney's, Malware Bites, Prosper Engineering.
Well, buddy, congratulations. You had a great run this evening. We'll see you out here Sunday, hopefully, since you won tonight. Rhett Tucker, our winner from Martinsville Speedway.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, buddy. Bye-bye. Jake, what a show this evening, buddy. I tell you what, in the terms of the unpredictability margin, this one's going to go right up there, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. First 60 laps, it was pretty green. You know, we only had 1 or 2 yellows in the first 60 laps, and all of a sudden, man, they kept pouring on, and yellow after yellow. But, you know, on to the next one, and, you know, we're going to be going to Richmond Raceway for the Rich Get Richer 150 for Speed Racing Network's Xfinity Series. You can watch that next Thursday, April 15th at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, you know, come check us out on YouTube, and, you know, we'll be back out on the track. But for the Xfinity Series, that is. But our next race on broadcast is going to be Sunday night, April 11th, man, Dean. It's going to be interesting, obviously, for the Speed Racing Network's Cup Series for the Clippy 200 back here at Martinsville Sunday night. That's going to be at 8:30 Central Sunday night, 9:30 p.m. Central, or 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So, yeah, buddy, I don't even know what to expect going into this thing Sunday night with, you know, we've seen basically 20 yellow flags between the Truck Series race and tonight in the Xfinity. Obviously, we don't have fast repairs in the Cup Series, so I got to imagine, man, there's going to be a lot of cars parked early from, you know, unrepairable damage, things like that. It's going to be survival of the fittest, I think, Sunday night.
Yeah, Jake, I think you're absolutely right. We've gotten to call two very, very intriguing races here the last two nights between the trucks and the Xfinity series. And man, these Cup cars are just going to be a little faster, a little more powerful, and it's going to be a game of survival, Jake. And buddy, I'll see you out there Sunday night. And like I said, best of luck to you, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, Dean. You too. I know it'll be a good one though. I think it'll get cleaned up after the first few yellows, and then I think there's just there won't be so many cars on the track that it's going to allow us to have green flag racing.
Absolutely. Well, Jake, we'd also like to thank our fans who've tuned in for the last two nights, give you a little bit of break. We'll be back here Sunday night. This is Dean Brummett, and this is Jake Rowell from Martinsville Speedway and the Speed Racing Network, reminding you to always go faster.